This is the Vaguely Nerdy Podcast, where each week this brother-sister duo gets together to discuss the box office, our latest film and TV scoops, our latest movie or show review, and what we're getting into next. We're your hosts,
Cheryl
and Jay.
So this week we are doing a show review instead of a movie review, and this week over the last several weeks, we watched The Penguin, which is a Matt Reeves verse. What are they calling it? Reeves verse?
I think it's, yeah.
This is a Reeves verse entry and versus a James Gunn verse entry.
Which has not yet been established.
Exactly. Which
Batman-wise.
Exactly. The Creature Commandos will be James Gunn's first entry into the new DCEU. So we ain't talking about that. I am on deck for trivia for Jay. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. So Clancy Brown, who plays Maroney? Yes. I can't remember his character's first name. It doesn't matter. Bad guy Maroney.
Sal Maroney?
There it is.
Yeah. Oh.
I literally blanked like, oh God, what was his name?
Sal Maroney.
Plays Sal Maroney in this series. But Clancy Brown is not new to DC Comics. Can you guess how many other DC comic roles Clancy Brown has had? And I ain't going to even make you name them, but just give me a number.
How many other DC comic roles? Mm-hmm. How far back we going? We
are going as far back
Burton?
as 1996.
Wow. Was he any of the Clooney Batmans?
No.
Okay.
I mean, no. Maybe.
Okay.
Just guess the
How
number.
many DC comic roles?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to say 10.
Higher.
More than 10. Okay.
Mm-hmm. You close, but higher.
15.
You want one more guess?
Close but higher. 12.
19.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'll read off a couple.
Sure.
Big time Batman Beyond 1999.
He was big time in Batman Beyond. He was the voice of Big Time? Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, he does a lot of voice work.
He got several voice
I didn't
roles.
even think of that.
He was like 4 people, and he was Wally West, the Flash, the Vice President and Guardian of Oa in Justice League Unlimited in 2004.
Okay.
Mr. Freeze in the Batman in 2004. He was Robot Chicken DC Comics 2, where he played Gorilla Grodd.
Okay.
He was also General Wade Ealing in.
Is that the only time he played Gorilla Grodd?
It looked like it. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
These
it looks
similar
like
voice actors.
Parallax in Green Lantern in 2011.
Oh, he was Parallax and Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern?
It looks like, is this the one from, hold on, let me click the link on IMDb. And yes, that is the Ryan Reynolds one.
Okay.
Everybody might have blanked that from their mind.
Clancy Brown has been in a lot of stuff.
Period.
He's like he's like the white Keith David.
Yeah. Yes.
He's like in everything, and he voices everything.
He was right, because somebody showed a picture of him of like non-DC stuff, and I forgot he was Ragnarok, or what was it called in Thor Ragnarok?
Surtur.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was that. I was like, it sounds just...
He was also in Starship Troopers.
Of course he was.
So because Clancy Brown has just like a Keith David, like a very wild filmography. They both voice like video game, cartoon, and do random character actor work.
When Clancy Brown's in the cast list, you like, oh, let me show up.
Yeah.
Because he's Clancy freaking Brown.
I loved him in The Last John Wick.
Yes. Yes. He was in John Wick. He does a lot of kid stuff too.
He's Mr. Krabs.
And apparently he will be in season 3 of What If as Surtur.
Oh, he's Mr. Krabs too.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Clancy Brown is Mr. Krabs.
Listen, national treasure. Okay, Clancy Brown is.
Yeah.
So that is our trivia for this week. Shout out to Clancy Brown, who's our white Keith David. And now let's get into our episode.
Welcome, fellow movie buffs. I'm Jay.
I'm Cheryl.
Listen in as we break down movie and TV shows, tell you what's in the plot, and hear if we think you should have watched it when you had the chance.
Dun, dun, dun. So we have 2 movie announcements. One, when I was like, do I really want to put this? But it's news, and we deliver y'all the news. We have a couple new movie announcements. Quite an interesting trailer park. It's not at capacity, but we got some cars in there. Yeah. And then Buncha Crunch is also kind of full. So let's start off at the top here. Taron Egerton and Charlize Theron will be in a new Netflix movie called Apex. It will center on Charlize Theron, who is going to be a rock climber and an adrenaline junkie who finds that nature isn't the only dangerous element out to get her. And apparently Egerton will play a stalker of Charlize Theron's character. It's giving
Wait.
What?
So is he stalking her up the mountain?
It sounds like she's on an adventure and she's out enjoying nature, having an expedition by herself, and then he's just like being dangerous, stalking her.
Nature and a stalker?
Well,
it's a lot.
Yeah.
I mean,
my thing is, I hope the movie.
A lot to have going on.
Right. I hope the movie's not some sort of like he's doing it just because, and there's some point behind it.
So it's vertical limit with the little U.
Okay, probably yes. I'm assuming there's a backstory.
Yeah.
Was the Angelina Jolie movie where she was getting stalked in
Those
the woods?
Who Wish Me Dead? No, that was about. She was a fire watcher.
Okay.
Who stumbled upon a boy who was being chased by assassins in the forest during a forest fire.
Different movie.
Good
when I read this, I was like, "Oh, it's kind of like that." And no, yeah. It's not.
It was one of those HBO Max COVID movies.
You said Those Who Wish Me Dead.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good movie. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you mentioned that before, and that's why I thought of that.
That was when she
I read
first
this.
made her big comeback.
Her resurgence.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we don't have a release date on this. Charlize Theron hasn't been in a ton of movies lately.
This will be another Netflix. She's in the Netflix camp now because she had the Old Guard,
which I need to still watch.
This Old Guard 2 is coming out.
Which seems like they were shooting it and then we didn't hear about it anymore after that. Mm-hmm. And we know Theron from Kingsman movies.
Yes.
Same guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Okay. So he's obviously been up and coming and stuff. So this will be, it sounds interesting. I hope it's giving cat and mouse in the woods.
Everybody's going to Netflix now. Lady Gaga's going to Netflix. This is his second movie I recently heard of coming on Netflix. He's got The Carry On.
That's
as well. That's boom. A Netflix film.
That's coming out in like a month.
Mm-hmm.
So Netflix pays for these movie rights.
I mean, they're constantly putting stuff out, and they have the most subscribers. So people aren't going to the theaters, but they all have Netflix.
Right, or they know somebody that got Netflix,
right,
and they can use it on like a VPN. Chad, now we said it at the same time. So I'll be interested to see your trailer. It sounds interesting. Charlize Theron could play a variety of roles, so I can see her doing this.
The last Netflix movie we watched was Jennifer Lopez one, Atlas.
Oh yeah.
And the one before that was
Rebel Moons.
No, was it the Gal Gadot? Was that? Yeah, it was Rebel Moon, and then before that it was the Gal Gadot.
Right. So and then before that it was another Rebel Moon. Unfortunately.
Yeah. And then, but also they cloned Tyrone, so
very good.
Netflix has gems.
Oh, and all of the Knives Out movies.
Carry On looks good. Knives Out movies are all good.
Yeah, it's the cast. Oh, we forgot Leave the World Behind.
Yes.
That was also Netflix.
Also on the podcast,
which was like one of the most viewed Netflix movies ever.
Yeah,
which is crazy.
Yeah, good for them. If the trailer looks interesting, I would definitely watch it. Netflix does have some gems.
They do. And when the stars are big, the movie most of the time turns out good.
Yeah,
I'll say that. Yeah.
All right.
Speaking of Rebel Moon.
Speaking of Rebel Moon, Zack Snyder, I like that you keep spelling it Zatch.
Shows you how much I was thinking about this.
Zack Snyder is getting another movie. He's going to direct and co-write a new LAPD action thriller that's going to go directly to Netflix, just like his previous two films with Rebel Moon.
And the animated movie that came and went.
The animated like Greek mythology animated, but Rebel Moon's also supposed to be getting like an anime as well. So I think this is all part of his big contract with Netflix.
Sure.
It's said to be his first truly grounded movie, which are none of Zack Snyder's movies grounded? I mean, they're all like
not grounded.
They're all like ridiculous.
All the superhero movies not grounded.
I guess the zombie one isn't grounded because of zombies. Okay, so this will be his first movie that doesn't dive into the fantastical of anything. It's just going to be about police.
Listen, if there's some sort of mystical element, I won't be surprised.
And it's described as being centered on the elite LAPD unit that is relentlessly confronted with the unforgiving collision of law and morality.
So a cop drama.
Yeah, I mean,
somebody was like, "So we gonna get slow-mo shots of them filing paperwork?" Yes,
yes, pretty much. I feel like End of Watch already did this pretty perfectly.
Okay.
Jake Gyllenhaal, Michael Pena.
You know what else did this pretty perfectly? And this wasn't really, I guess, based on a unit, so never mind. I was gonna say my Inside Man.
I was gonna say Nightcrawler because I said Jake Gyllenhaal, but Inside Man, yes.
Yeah, he couldn't pull off no Nightcrawler, not without it being
No. Zack Snyder cannot pull off Nightcrawler. No.
I'm curious if he's gonna be able to pull off a non-fantastical
movie. Nightcrawler is like too
movie.
subtle of a movie for Zack Snyder. Doesn't have enough explosions and slow-mo.
Did you know that he was originally gonna direct the movie SWAT, but he wanted to make it rated R, so he walked away, and they were like, no, it needs to be PG-13, so he said no.
You know what? SWAT is still good.
I like SWAT.
It's like a...
Speaking of Colin Farrell.
It reminds me of the Gone in 60 Seconds era of film.
Yeah, he wanted to make it rated R because he probably wanted to put like sex, drugs, and violence in it. And they were like...
It would probably work nowadays. Because SWAT, now I think about it, SWAT was really PG-13. Hey, Colin Farrell. Shout out to Colin Farrell.
I was like, speaking of Colin Farrell. So this will probably be rated R because Netflix going to let them do it. Somebody's probably going to get... sexually assaulted because that's what Zack Snyder does.
It is.
We're going to get some slow-mo shots of jail doors closing, office doors being shot out perhaps, and paperwork being filed. Yeah. I just don't understand why he is allowed to continue to make movies. And we have other people who could also make movies and they don't get no chance.
The saving grace is
what?
It says co-write, which means there will be somebody else who will also be assisting with the writing. Because we do know Zack Snyder's films are not always ugly. Okay.
I mean, I wouldn't call the movie, I wouldn't call his movies ugly.
No, they have some color grading issues.
But they're they're very beautiful gowns though.
Yeah, his movies always look good, and I do think he's good at directing action. And when if you cut out some of the some slow-mo scenes make sense.
Yeah, because you shaved 30 minutes off the movie.
The real big issue with Zack Snyder stuff is the writing.
He's writing with his frequent collaborator, who he worked with Rebel Moon, The Watcher, and 300. So it's literally the same people behind every other Zack Snyder movie.
I feel like he did more of the writing on Rebel Moon, though.
Okay.
Which is why it turned out the way that it did.
Let's hope.
So, yeah.
You know what?
Let's hope it's 60-40 or 70-30. Lower on the Zack side.
Even a trailer, I don't know if I would give this my time. I need my time back from Rebel Moon first. And I don't know how you're going to get that to me.
Like we said, it's Netflix. And Netflix can have some gems. So we'll see a trailer.
And they can have some not so gems.
That is all for the movie news this week. Let's roll into the trailer park.
Toot toot. Beep beep.
Okay, so the first stop on the trailer park is for What If Season 3. This is going to be the final season of What If.
Sad.
It's going to be 8 episodes
also
each
sad.
day starting on December 22nd.
Sad again.
Why?
Dude, do you remember what all like the content creators kind of like, how the heck are we going to review this if it's one episode a day? That was insane. We were literally watching an episode. Right. I think we did it all at once.
It should be finished in time for the episode to
come out we did it all at once in like one episode. But for people who do this like full time, they were like, yo, one episode a day. Wild. But I'm sad that this is the last season. Somebody made a very good point of like, if you're doing a show about infinite impossibilities, why is it only 3 seasons?
Probably because they realized that we're using a lot of really good stuff on Disney Plus.
And they were like, we need to put some of this in the movies maybe.
What If has really good storylines and really good writing.
Agree.
And they could apply that energy to some of the films.
I'm not mad at that. Apparently, some of the whatever happens at the end of season 3 might have implications to the larger MCU timeline.
Might as well at this point. It's the end.
So the head of Marvel TV said that we feel like we need to wrap it up because something bigger might be connected to all of this. And I'm like,
all that means is that somebody or bodies from this will transition
carry over
to live action, probably,
or one of the storylines.
Probably Kahori. And
I liked her. It's probably like X-Men. It's right because Storm is gonna be in this.
So maybe it's like the X-Men are coming from wherever Tiana Paris is.
Okay. Which you're right. Because
people and I always forget that she is with X-Men. Every time I see X-Men, I'm like, oh, this is where they're gonna pull them from. But like, well, wait, we already kind of have X-Men. So
I'm pretty sure they're gonna get America to open up a hole, and Brie Larson gonna go get Teyonah Parris.
She could, maybe an actual MCU variant will be in the show, because I don't think we've had any variants in the show that are actually from the 616 movie timeline.
Oh, yeah, that could be it. That could be it. I looked at the cast list, and most of the voice actors are back from the movies. There are some few exceptions, like Tony Stark, Steve Rogers. There's a couple other people that don't. I don't think Scarlett Johansson does hers either.
Never. She's hunting dinosaurs somewhere.
I mean, come on, y'all. Y'all can do it for me. From your basement. But anywho,
that's true.
Most of the actors are all back. So Moon Knight's gonna be in this. So we got Oscar Isaac, Teyonah Parris is coming, Sam Wilson is gonna be in here, John Walker, Storm. So the voice actress from X-Men 97 is coming back. So
pretty much everybody who's gonna be in the MCU going forward came back to voice their role.
Yeah. Which I mean, it feels more authentic.
It makes sense. It's the end. Might as well.
Right. I mean, get the check.
Yeah.
What I'm saying. So I'm looking forward to this. I really like season 2 much more than I like season 1. I like season 1, but season 2 I thought was better. So very excited for season 3.
Yeah, there's no point even trying to describe the trailer. You should pretty much just go watch it, because it's just they don't really give away anything. It's just a mashup of different characters and different outfits.
Yep.
And we got it looks like Shuri in a cosmic White Panther suit, or somebody said it's like crossed with Moon Knight or something.
Agatha is in this in a totally different white outfit. Moon Knight. Somebody else also, Mephisto.
We've got multiple Watchers as well.
Yeah, and there's a Gundam. Avengers
it
Gundam
looks like
situation.
there's like some Megazords.
Yes.
Some Megazord situations they
some
got
Voltron
going on in one episode.
Captain Planet.
We got Sam saying Avengers Assemble. I like that.
Yes. Yeah, notice he said Avenger Assemble, because they're like clicking clacking into one.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So you need to watch the trailer, because it's basically just a showcase of all of the people that are going to be in it.
And we got Storm holding Mjolnir.
Hell,
yes.
I need that on a shirt. Like, I want Storm and Thor's outfit on a shirt.
I mean,
please, somebody.
It's from the comics. I'm sure there's a shirt that exists
Marvel,
like that.
They still ain't even give us an official Ralph Boner shirt. I don't understand.
They haven't, but I got mine, so.
Listen, money printing machine, and they missing out on the money. But anywho.
Next stop on the trailer park is for The Madness. This is another Netflix.
Hey,
we need sponsors. This is for The Madness. This is a Netflix thriller series that is coming out on November 28th, so right after Thanksgiving.
Literally in 2 weeks.
This is going to be starring Coleman Domingo, who's taking another victory lap. He's on a roll right now.
Okay.
It is about a media pundit who must clear his name after he accidentally stumbles upon a murder in the woods.
It's giving Enemy of the State. A little bit. Kind of.
Yeah.
A touch. And Dion Cole is also in this.
Yes.
There's also the guy I'm forgetting his name, and I greatly apologize. He was just in Civil War. He was the older black guy in Civil War.
Stephen McKinley.
There it is.
Yes, Stephen McKinley Henderson.
There's quite a few. Our guy from American Fiction.
John Ortiz.
Thank you.
Yes.
I was like, I'm blanking on names. I can see faces.
Naming people you don't know.
I can see faces, but I can't see names. So I wonder if it's going to be bingeable, because this is something I think I could binge all the way through versus a week-to-week situation.
I think they're doing that less because of retention. So,
yeah, Netflix
all the charts nowadays are Netflix, and that's because they started staggering
dragging
everything now.
it out.
So yeah, unfortunately.
Then I might have to wait.
You have to wait to binge it.
I'm more of a binger depending on what it is. Like Agatha, I didn't mind doing week to week, but if it's like a crime based situation like Penguin, I think I would have preferred to binge it.
Absolutely.
Personally.
Yeah.
Or like Alex Cross that's out right now, which is good, by the way. Y'all need to go watch that. I almost binged it all yesterday. I was like, let me pause.
Yeah, I didn't get into True Detective until it was out on DVD. I couldn't imagine people waiting week to week to watch that.
Yeah, it just, I mean, I know once you watch it, it's over and done, but I prefer the binging model for crime shows. So we'll see.
All right. Something you won't have to binge that is coming on Netflix is a film. This is Back in Action. This comes out January 17th, 2025. So next year if we make it. And it is
still here.
It is going to be starring Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz. Cameron Diaz's return to acting since her retirement.
It's her first role in 10 years.
Yes. And it is about two former CIA spies, Emily and Matt, who are pulled back into espionage after their secret identities are exposed.
It looks like a Netflix movie.
It does.
I don't necessarily. I don't mean that in a great way.
You know what it looks like?
What?
It looks like that Ashton Kutcher, Katherine Heigl movie, Killers.
Oh.
Yes, Killers. It was about Katherine Heigl was a housewife who married Ashton Kutcher.
Okay.
And she didn't realize that he was an assassin.
Oh, yeah. It's given. Like, they have kids in this, and I guess the kids are, like, asking him questions about, like, what did you guys used to do? And, oh, you guys used to be cool because you're spies. And they're like, oh, no, we weren't that kind of cool. It looked a little too cheesy for me.
It does look extremely cheesy.
I don't know.
If anything, it looks like it has some fun action. It kind of looks like that movie, The Union, with Halle Berry and Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Which I didn't watch either.
Yeah. So it looks like it's going to be fun for action.
Yeah.
But plot wise, it looks kind of shallow.
I don't buy Jamie Foxx and Cameron Diaz as a couple.
No. But I bet Jamie Foxx does.
Well, I wasn't gonna take that, but you did. So it's
funny.
It's on record.
It's fun to laugh.
It's on record. Yeah, kind of like the Will Smith movie where he was
Focus.
Yes,
with Margot Robbie.
That
nobody
you know
liked
what's
either?
funny? That's not even the one I'm talking about, but that's an example. The one where he was a superhero, and if they were close together, they were weak.
Oh, with Charlize Theron.
Another couple. I was like,
not I Am Legend.
Yeah, whatever. It don't even matter because it wasn't a good movie.
Testing my memory today.
You Googling a lot. I'm sorry. What was, Hitch. Nope. I love Hitch.
Different one.
I love Hitch. I don't even know why I said that.
That
it starts with an H though, doesn't
Hancock.
It? Boom.
Yes.
There it is. I just didn't believe the couple in those. And this is one of those movies like, I don't believe y'all together.
No, but I mean with Hancock at least, they weren't a couple.
They weren't? They were just opposing forces or something, right?
Yeah, I mean they were a couple in past like billions of years ago.
They weren't like a couple in the movie.
Yeah, the fact that they had to like not be together kind of made more sense in Hancock. But no, I agree with you. Yeah.
This looking like a pass unless y'all tell us it's good.
It does, but glad for Cameron Diaz being back.
Boom.
Maybe we're getting closer to that Charlie's Angels 3.
And good for Jamie Foxx for being on the up. I mean, he filmed this before his old medical issue, but hopefully he does like some promotion and we'll see that he's all good.
Yeah, absolutely.
So thoughts and prayers.
Next stop on the Trailer Park is For the Amateur. This is a film that is going to theaters.
Yeah, we out of the Netflix. We out of the Netflix news, y'all.
We're back in the theaters.
Right.
This is going to be in theaters April 11th, 2025. It's going to be starring Rami Malek from James Bond.
Yeah.
We just saw. He was also Mr. Robot.
He was also in Oppenheimer.
And he was in Oppenheimer. Yes.
I liked his character
for a little bit. Yeah. And it's also going to be starring Lawrence Fishburne as well.
The Lawrence Fishburne.
Yes. So it is about Rami Malek playing a character, Charles Heller, who is a CIA cryptographer, loses his wife in a London terrorist attack.
Oh, no.
He realizes his boss will not act due to conflicting internal priorities, so he decides to embark on blackmailing the agency to train him as a field operative. He embarks on a one-man mission to hunt down his killer's wife.
It's an inside job.
So it's like
I'm calling it.
It's like a Man on Fire with a little Mr. Robot.
Okay.
Because instead of being like super hands-on like Denzel Washington in Man on Fire, he doesn't have the physical capabilities.
He's not James Bond.
He will be hacking his way through these assassinations.
It looks interesting. I was going to say, until you mentioned, I was like, what if we last seen him in? And yeah, I think Oppenheimer was the last thing we had seen him in before James Bond. I like him, though. It looks like a good spy, cat and mouse, working with the guy who's trying to be a better agent situation. Probably fumbling along the way. Yeah,
so it looks really fun. It looks like Lawrence Fishburne is going to be like his whistler.
He's going to be like he was in John Wick.
I don't know, because we don't actually know exactly what role Lawrence Fishburne is playing. Like, is he ex-CIA or is he just like some random guy he hired to train him how to be a killer? Because Lawrence Fishburne says, I can't train you to do what I do. But it's like, what do you do? Do you just kill people?
He's probably like an underground trainer.
Do you work for a government agency as well?
He's probably off the grid,
Yeah.
They always got off the grid trainers. Like, you only send people to this guy when you really want him to kill somebody.
It also has a little Jason Bourne-ish thing going on because he's going rogue, and it looks like we also are going to be following the agency trying to follow him.
Yes.
And a lot of that was watching Jason Bourne on security cameras because they could never get close enough to him.
Right.
Yeah.
So it looks like a good little chase spy type movie. I kind of like those.
All right, and last stop on the trailer park is a big one. This is for Mission Impossible, The Final Reckoning. This is coming out to theaters May 23rd, 2025. It is going to star Tom Cruise and Haley Atwell will be returning again, but will also be joined by Pom Klementieff.
Yes.
As well.
So they basically
pretty much just picked up the stragglers from the last film.
Don't know how I feel about that.
I think it makes sense. Okay, so let's talk about the trailer.
Sure. It don't show it shows a bunch of action scenes.
It's the same as any other Mission Impossible trailer. Kind of like explaining a Mission Impossible trailer is kind of like explaining a What If trailer.
Yeah, just watch it.
It's a flurry
or if you've seen one, you've seen this one.
It's a flurry of stunts and super
voiceover,
super saturated colors.
Yeah,
voiceover, explosions. Yeah, hanging from a plane, hanging from a cliff, hanging from a motorcycle, a dinosaur, things of that nature. Yeah, hanging from a sub, swimming at the bottom of the ocean in the
cold
Arctic.
Ocean. Yes, don't forget it's very cold.
In your undies.
For no reason.
And for no reason. But
and some damsel. It's a damsel. It's
right.
A damsel.
But I find it funny that the end of the trailer is it's called The Final Reckoning. The end of the trailer, he's looking at the camera, he says, "Trust me one last time." And it's like, this isn't going to be the last one. No, you've said this isn't going to be the last one. This isn't the last anything.
I was going to say, if anything, it may be like maybe they'll do like a 5-year gap and then do another one. But no, I do not think this is the last one. Also, I think it's funny that we have totally ditched Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Well, because it's Final Reckoning instead of Part 2, because they said they couldn't do the Part 2 thing because I guess Part 1 wasn't super successful.
That's his fault.
And I guess not enough people went to go see it.
No, they didn't.
They should just continue with the storyline. But in addition to Haley Atwell and Pom Klementieff on his new team, he's also got Greg Tarzan Davis, who was the cop
from the previous one
in the previous film, who was helping the other guy, Shea Wingham.
Yes, he was his partner because they were trying to hunt Ethan Hunt down.
Yeah, he's in several of these Mission Impossible.
Right.
Shea Wingham.
Right.
So he was Shea Wingham's partner in the last one, but it looks like he's going to be working with Ethan Hunt in
How do all these people get back together?
Because once Ethan gets his eyes on you and sees that you're capable, he recruits you. That's how he recruited all the last ones.
We are in the 8th movie. I don't want a new team. You know who I want? Rebecca Ferguson back. Come on.
They said that she didn't want to come back because she fulfilled her contract and now she's doing Silo. But I mean, the Ilsa saga was like peak Mission Impossible.
I don't understand why they can't.
So good.
Very annoying.
I don't dislike Haley Atwell, but she's no Rebecca Ferguson.
Listen, I just don't understand why we
Rose the Hat. But
a new crew in your quote unquote final film. Sure.
We don't have a look on who the bad guy is or if it's going to be
the bad guy from the
I think it's Issei Morales who was the bad guy in the last one.
I would think so.
Was he in this trailer?
No.
Yeah, I didn't see him at all. They didn't show a villain.
Yeah, I was to be honest, I was not very impressed by this trailer.
Because it just looks like
every other Mission Impossible, and I guess the fact that we knew Rebecca Ferguson wasn't going to be in this, and then they were like, "Oh, new team, guys, look," and I'm like, "No, I don't want it. I don't want a new team."
Some additional people who are going to be in this as well. Caddy O'Brien has joined the cast as well.
Oh yeah, she wasn't in the trailer either.
Nick Offerman was.
Was he?
Sorry, not in the trailer. He was in a still. They released stills of Angela Bassett, and behind Angela Bassett is Nick Offerman as well. But he's got a shaven face, so he doesn't look like Ron from Parks and Rec. That might have been why you overlooked him.
That was actually the most exciting part of the trailer, is the fact that Angela Bassett's back.
Rob Delaney is also supposed to be in this.
Okay.
From Deadpool.
Okay.
And Hannah Waddingham is supposed to be in this as well.
That's a lot of people in this.
Yeah. Not everybody was in the trailer, but it looks like it's going to have a big cast. It looks like it's going to be a big movie.
Yes. But I hope Angela Bassett makes it out in the end.
And it does look like Benji and Luther are going to be in reduced roles. Probably why they brought in this younger cast.
Yes, because Luther is the one that's doing the voiceover. Some of the voiceover, right? Mm-hmm. And it just sounds like he's not there.
So
interestingly enough,
I'm gonna say Shro probably won't like this movie because they're doing the thing Shro doesn't like.
With a young team,
they're not teens. They're introducing younger people who are probably in their 30s. series.
I don't like it. I didn't like it when they did it in Bad Boys
or Fast and Furious. She doesn't like when they introduced the new crop of people.
You know what's funny?
She is very anti-Degrassi, the next generation.
Listen, that's when I fell off Grace. I literally quit Grace when they started bringing them young kids in. I was like, I don't want y'all. Where y'all? Get out of here. Boo.
Mid-20s college graduates.
Amateurs. After 8 seasons in, nobody want this.
Oh, and Vanessa Kirby is back as well. Which she was not in the trailer, but I do enjoy her character.
I do like her character.
This is when I first found out who Vanessa Kirby was. So,
you're right.
Yes, I do like her in these
She probably
movies.
in this for like 2 seconds because Homegirl is fantastic for her now. So
I wonder if her brother's going to make it out. Every time I see her brother, I'm like, I'm surprised you keep making it through these movies.
Fine.
Sure.
You're right. You calling it. I'm probably going to be like, well, they're still not beating, what is that, Rogue Nation? The one with Henry Cavill and Angela Bassett first was in?
It was
Fallout.
Fallout, yes.
No, we said it at the same time. Oh, that's still my favorite. They ain't beat 6.
Oh, yeah. Everybody is still asking for like the surprise twist. Oh, hey.
What? That he not dead?
Yeah, everybody keeps asking for the surprise reveal that Henry Cavill survived, but maybe that's why there's no villain in this trailer.
But he would have to survive and be in the movie. I don't want him to be like, he survived in jail. Like,
or had a twin brother or something.
No.
Henry Cavill was good in these movies.
He was, and I just don't
think he was too good. That's why he was not asked to return.
That is a thing with these Hollywood stars. I would not be surprised.
He's really good in this. But we'll definitely be in theaters to see this.
We will. I'm complaining, but I'm going
to
be
see
there
all
anyway.
of them. They are usually all fun and entertaining to watch. The last one was a little disappointing. That is because we are Ilsa stans. And unfortunately, she is no longer in this. But
I just didn't. And we saw it coming too in the movie. It was like they about to get her. They about to get her.
Rebecca Ferguson is still really good on Silo on Apple TV.
Yes,
so watch that, and it's getting season 2. So good for that.
Let me stop lamenting.
All right, so that is all for the trailer park. Let's dive into this Buncha Crunch.
All right, so first bit of crunch we have is Sarah Niles is going to be a part of the Fantastic Four First Steps movie. We don't know her role, and I actually was not familiar with her, so I had to do my little Googles. She previously starred in Ted Lasso, where she was nominated for an Emmy twice, and she won a SAG award. So shout out to the black woman that has joined Fantastic Four.
Yes.
I'm all for her. I don't care what she is.
They filled out pretty much everybody I can think of.
Listen, we still don't know who John Malkovich. Well, I guess they leaked. Somebody said they leaked who it is, but that wasn't confirmed.
Yeah.
We don't know who is voicing Herbie, and we don't know who the other guy is, who everybody thinks is Mole Man. So I'm just kind of like, who is she? There's so many things we don't know about this. Mm-hmm. I'm actually glad. I don't want to know who everybody is. It might just be
like Easter egg characters.
It could be, but these leakers are starting to leak too much.
Also, this also takes place in another universe, so who knows if all these characters are going to transition over, if it's going to be more than just the family.
You're right.
Yeah.
We would like Sarah to transition, though. I don't even know what role she is, but I just want to see her again in the next movie.
Next scoop of crunch is Sansa is in talks to be playing Lora Croft. If you didn't watch Game of Thrones, Sansa is Sophie Turner.
I looked at the notes and was like, it says
also,
Sophie Turner.
If you didn't watch Game of Thrones, Jean Grey is in talks to play Lora Croft.
That makes more sense to me.
And Phoebe Waller-Bridge's live-action adaptation of the Tomb Raider series that is coming to Prime Video.
I can see it. Oh,
I'm interested to see how a series version of Tomb Raider goes, because the game it's not like playing the video game.
It's a week-to-week mystery.
It would be broken down into the same chapters that the game would be cut into.
Okay,
but the thing about, you know what, just like you said about not wanting to watch like a police procedural show week to week,
you would not want to.
Tomb Raider is also a mystery. The whole premise of every Tomb Raider game is about her discovering something, and then it turns out to be something mystical or fantastical at the end. So you're going to spend the whole series waiting for whatever
what is this thing
idol she finds to turn into a spirit that she has to shoot with twin pistols at the end. So,
they could also do like a new mystery every week. That's like and then there's like a background main storyline that's building up to something.
I hope it's not just redoing the movie, the most recent movie, which was redoing the game.
Okay.
Yeah. So maybe they give us different origins for. So we've already got the Jon Voight origin.
I was just about to say
with
the one
Angelina
her dad.
Jolie.
Right.
So her dad was part of the Illuminati and was killed. Mm-hmm. And then we got the origin in the game and in the new movie, which is her dad was killed on an island when they was all shipwrecked.
It's all her dad.
Yeah, so
let's not have dad in this one.
I wonder what origin or how. Oh, and it has to be different from the anime that's running on Netflix right now,
which I've not seen or heard much about.
I don't think anybody's. The animation style looks a little, but people who do watch it seems to.
And Haley
really
Atwell is voicing that.
Yes.
No, why didn't they just get her to be Tomb Raider?
I don't know. I think they're going younger, probably so they can do multiple movies.
You probably are right. Mm-hmm. Okay, that makes sense.
So, like we said, we'll need to see a trailer for it. I like Sophie Turner as Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The movie wasn't good, but
she was good in Game of Thrones, but everybody was like super young on Game of Thrones.
Well, yes.
So yeah, as an adult actress, she was really good as Jean Grey. The movies weren't great, but she was fine. I don't think the actors were the issue in the X-Men movies.
I would agree.
Yes.
I would agree with you. I would agree with you on that.
Next Scoop of Crunch, director Dan Trachtenberg has confirmed that the Predator will be a protagonist in the Predator Badlands movie, which I like.
Now, when this first came across my feed, I just kept scrolling because I was like, of course he's the antagonist. Scoot. And then I saw it again and was like, hold on, what?
Yeah.
Now, how was the Predator going to be the protagonist in the movie?
Usually that means there is the bigger batter. The last time the Predator was a protagonist was he was best friends with Sanaa Lathan, and they had to fight the alien queen.
Okay.
And they had an alien in the Lawrence Fishburne, Adrian Brody Predator.
Okay.
It had a Lawrence Fishburne, Adrian Brody. Or what ended up happening was they stumbled upon a Predator who was being held prisoner because there are different tribes of predators.
Of course.
They are multicultural and very diverse, just like humans.
There's also a tribe that's always trying to be ridiculous.
Yes, so there's rival tribes of hunters as well. So,
kind of like Planet of the Apes.
Yeah. What I'm interested in is where Elle Fanning fits into this then.
You got to have a human element, right?
So she going to be the new Sanaa Lathan?
I mean, you kind of just described what I think is going to be the plot. You said, I was like, that sounds like the plot of the movie that's already been out.
I'm interested to see where it takes place. Is it on Earth or a different planet?
Okay.
The Lawrence Fishburne one was on a different planet. A jungle planet.
You know what? Then one of the things that I almost put in the trailer, but then I realized it was only 17 seconds. Mm-hmm. Speaking of things on Earth, was Alien Earth. We got like a 17-second.
It looks so good.
What did you see in the 17 seconds? I was like, yo, I can't see
the shininess of the alien skull.
Sure, yeah.
They
were like wading in water under like a cave or something for like a second or two.
It looked very Ridley Scott-esque. The cinematography looked really good.
I was just
just looked so good.
Y'all could have gave us like 45 seconds because what is I supposed to do with this 17?
Also, I was like alien, darkness, water, a girl with a bob.
Dead. She is dead.
Yeah.
Sorry to that woman. But where this takes place will be interesting. We both like Prey, so I think we're both very excited about Predator Badlands. So, next up, Disney is taking something else off the calendar, just like they took Blade off the calendar. Star Wars is not coming out next December. So they removed it from the December 2026 calendar. That was supposed to be our launch pad of Star Wars back into the trilogy. They said, no, we're not ready yet. But here's Ice Age 6, which I was like, there's 5 of these movies? I didn't even know.
Yeah. I mean, they can have fun with Ice Age. The real story is that Star Wars has moved, but that's not surprising.
If y'all
they just got a director. They're
not ready.
They got to go back to the drawing board.
Listen, I was about to say, if y'all not ready, go ahead, push.
Yeah.
Go ahead. If we are still here and alive and the economy is not trash and we can still afford to go to the movies, we will have time to go.
Same with Blade.
In 2027.
Don't talk to us about it until you have something to talk about.
It's interesting. Kevin Feige's statement about that was kind of like, y'all know as much as I know. It was like, oh, so y'all really ain't done nothing.
I was listening to another podcast, The Weekly Planet, and they said something funny, which was very true. And they were talking about how the only thing Star Wars has been doing the last couple of years is just announcing stuff and not putting out anything.
I listened to the episode.
They need to take some time to actually put things together so they can go back to releasing
Give everybody some breathing room.
Because that's true. All they've been doing is announcing the Lando movie,
and putting out TV shows, I guess, that people are burning up.
And putting out TV shows and announcing that there's going to be 2 Rey movies and announcing there's going to be a prequel saga, a middle saga, and a future.
Oh
saga.
I forgot about the whole 3 different time periods. And I was like, I need a chart because I can't remember where all these time periods are.
And now they just announced last week that they're doing another 10, 11, 12. It's like, okay, still not a lot of announcements.
Now, I said one thing they came through with is the Dave Filoni movie, which turned out to be Mando and Grogu.
Yeah.
That was a 1 out of 10 projects that actually seem to be making it.
Can we bring Ahsoka Chatter back?
She's getting a season 2, right?
I mean, is she? Is she going to be in the Mandalorian and Grogu movie?
She is, but I think it's getting a season 2.
I haven't heard, or they haven't been talking about her. So.
Yeah, because I would like to see what we going to do with Theron. Yeah. That man is pretty.
And Ezra's back. So.
Right. And we got Ahsoka
and she's in a different, galaxy.
How are we supposed to get back to them? Yeah, I don't, like we said last time, Star Wars is chugging along. It's trying. Yeah. It's trying. And them pushing this back or to whenever is a good idea.
And they probably should put some more time, some more distance in between Star Wars.
Agree. Flesh it out. Y'all got time.
Let people miss it.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Next scoop of crunch is Lupita Nyong'o is actually going to be in the Christopher Nolan movie.
Yay! Balloons and spectacle. So shout out to the Hollywood Reporter who swooped in on this scoop and took it from Deadline, who was like, sorry, we got to take it out. And they were like, oh, no. We know it's here. So she must have maybe needed the check cut, the contract signed, the negotiations to be finalized. But yeah. We still don't know jack squat about this movie. Nope. We just keep getting casting announcements, and that's probably what it's going to be until who knows.
Hopefully she has a big part in it. Hopefully she's in a lot of it.
Yes, I agree.
Christopher Nolan sometimes will cast a big person to come in and shoot 1 or 2 scenes. I've rumors Zendaya's only in like a few scenes of the film. I mean,
that's the same thing that happened with Pew Pew in Oppenheimer. I mean, she technically was in
a lot of people in Oppenheimer were technically in just like 1 or 2 scenes.
Literally 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Flat.
I kept forgetting Josh Hartnett was in it until he would come back. Oh, yeah. Because the movie was so long and everybody's scenes were so stretched apart.
We just mentioned Rami Malek was in that.
Yeah. Matt Damon would disappear for like hours.
And I actually liked Matt Damon in that movie, but every time he showed back up, I'm like, oh, hey, Matt.
I forgot Matt was in this movie.
Yeah. So, like I said last episode, we will probably keep getting casting announcements for this movie until who knows when. But
I wonder how much bigger it's going to get.
How much bigger the cast is going to get.
If it's going to get much bigger.
It depends on what it is. If it's a sci-fi movie, I don't think it's going to be a huge cast. But if we get in our wartime situation going on, I'm assuming it's not because Lupita in it. I mean,
forget Aaron Taylor Johnson's in Tenet.
Is he?
Yes. He's the Marine that's leading the operation at the end. It's not Robert Pattinson. It's Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Because he doesn't look, he has like a more rugged look.
He just be throwing people in movies, like actual human beings.
You're right. Aaron Taylor Johnson. And he does like something significant.
Yeah.
So very interesting.
Interested to see, there could be like surprise casting or,
You're right.
people that will see this movie and be like, I didn't know you were going to be in this.
Like, I was on the other lot and Christopher Nolan said he needed somebody. And I was like, you Christopher Nolan, sure.
But anyway, we're happy that Lupita is in this.
We are happy.
It was...
snatched away from us
when it was leaked, I guess originally.
I don't even know what you call
it a leak or a slip.
Yeah,
because it technically wasn't a lie.
There you go. It was a slip.
Originally, we were super excited and then very disappointed when we found out that it possibly was not true.
I think all of the internet was disappointed.
Everybody loves seeing Lupita and stuff.
I think the whole Beyonce's internet was like, boo, get Lupita.
Last time she was on the podcast was A Quiet Place, which we loved. Mm-hmm, and she was amazing in it.
Yep. And Wild Robot is doing gangbusters. And it's probably going to get some Oscar nominations. So.
And she deserves.
Absolutely.
Last scoop of crunch is a fun scoop. This is Denzel Washington leaks that he will be in Black Panther 3. That's funny because
casually
you're not gonna tell Denzel Washington he can't talk about something.
First of all, he's doing Gladiator 2 press. Mm-hmm. He did an interview with Today Australia.
Yes.
So he was just talking about all his movies that he's looking to do that are coming up. He mentioned something about retiring, then he backtracked it because he saw we was all having a nervous breakdown about it. He's like, I'm not retiring.
I think he was saying that he was talking about films he wanted to do before he retired, but not that he was planning to retire.
We all took it as retire, and we all started having
just don't use the word
heart
Denzel.
Palpitations around it, and
just don't say it.
He calmed us down, but he was just casually talking about all his movies. He was like, oh, I'm doing Othello, and I got the Spike Lee movie. Ryan Coogler's writing, me a role for Black Panther 3, and then I'm doing this other Shakespeare thing, and then the world was just like, I'm sorry, you said Ryan Coogler doing what now? So, one, we didn't even know that I'm sure we knew we was getting a Black Panther 3, but we didn't even know that they were working on it. We didn't know Ryan was coming back, and we dang sure didn't know Denzel was going to be in it.
None of this was confirmed, but
No.
So we could have guessed Ryan.
We could
why?
have, sure.
Because at this point it's 3.
There's no way you should pick anybody else at this point.
Didn't know that he was working on it.
No clue, because we
Didn't know
don't
he
know
was currently writing.
when it's coming out.
No, because they haven't talked about Black Panther since Wakanda Forever.
Exactly.
Like they've deliberately not had any discussions about that.
Right.
Because they left that very open-ended. Mm-hmm. And yeah, him just dropping that he was going to be in it.
Casual, y'all. Go find a clip of him to see how casually he just mentioned
Well, because it was Australia, it didn't leak into the U.S. until about like
6 in the morning.
6 in the morning.
You
So
text me and I was like,
my alarm set to go off at 6 for work. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Wake up! Denzel Washington's going to be in Black Panther 3."
And it was everybody
Black
was
Panther
just
3.
kind of like, "Wait, what? What are you talking about?" Now I know Kevin, assistant, probably was like, "Whatever you do this morning, don't check your phone."
Yeah.
He'd be like, "I'm sorry, what's going on? Just don't open Twitter." And then he probably opened Twitter, and then the rest of his hair probably fell out.
Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin. You picked the actors who like to talk. Show folks.
But I mean, who wouldn't want to? At the end of the day, who wouldn't want this news to be out in the world? That means from today,
$1 billion
until the movie comes out, people are going to be anticipating Black Panther 3. Like the anticipation will never die until the film comes out.
Listen, and if he not in it, we gonna
people are ready
burn,
to spend the money to see it now.
Ready to burn the house down if something don't work out.
The trailer is going to be the most viewed trailer in 24 hours because we would have been waiting for it since today.
And we probably not get it's 2024. Let's say Black Panther 3 is definitely not coming out next year.
Denzel Washington in Hall H. Are you kidding me?
Maybe 2026.
Like Denzel Washington in Hall H at Comic-Con?
If I had to guess, next Comic-Con Hall H panel, they gonna announce the rest of the slate. I'm guessing. And I bet you one of them movies probably would have been Black Panther 3. Yeah. And then they would have did the whole Mahershala Ali Blade reveal where Denzel walk out like, "Hey, y'all, what's going on today?" But now he going to be like, "Oh, we're going to have to think of something else."
But you know what? Denzel saved Kevin's life because everybody completely forgot about Blade being taken off the board.
We're not even talking about it.
Nobody even cares.
We are at
the
the second, but we've moved on.
We still would like Blade, but now that we know we're getting Black Panther, we're fine. We'll be all right.
I was like, can we move something off so we can get Black Panther 3 soon?
What
please?
can we do to help you move this along?
Go ahead and move. What's coming first? Was Doomsday, then Secret Wars? Just move Secret Wars like a year back. It's fine.
So very excited. We have no idea what kind of character he's going to be playing.
Nothing.
He would be a great villain. He would be a great ally. He would be a great extra. She's Denzel
literally put him anywhere, y'all, and just make sure he in it for a good amount of time.
My only request is, I did mention this because Forrest Whitaker and Angela Bassett have not made it out of the Black Panthers. Black Panther films do have a tendency to kill our legends. So
yeah, let's
leave
keep him alive.
Denzel alive. Even if he is a villain, find some way to spare him.
Ryan, if you are listening, please don't kill Denzel, please. Because Denzel, if you write it good enough, Denzel like, "Sure, kill me off." He'd be like, "No, actually, don't do that.
Yeah.
Don't kill him off. Leave him to pasture, to roam and do whatever else next."
Yeah.
I mean, although that makes me nervous because he's probably not going to be in like the MCU after that.
He don't have to.
Okay.
I mean, Angela Bassett wasn't in anything else other than Black Panther.
Yeah,
so.
I'm not going to stress. If I got too long to go. But this was probably the most exciting news we got all week, and we wasn't even supposed to get it. So, yay. Thank you, Denzel.
Very excited about that. Okay, so that is the last scoop of crunch on our list. That is the end of our movie news, Trailer Park, and Buncha Crunch. We are going to take a short break, and then we are going to come back for our show review of the week, which is The Penguin.
Sweet. This week we watched The Penguin, which was an HBO. It was just HBO Max, or was it straight HBO?
I think it was
HBO because they showed it
and then on Max.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Not that matters. I was just asking.
It's on the platform.
Just asking
It's definitely
questions.
on Max.
It's definitely on Max now. So you can watch all of the episodes on Max right now. Yes. It was released September 19th and it went through November 10th. So it just wrapped up less than a week ago of our recording. Showrunner and creator for The Penguin was Lora Croft. Producer of this is Matt Reeves. So Matt Reeves is the director of the Batman movies. or Batman movie, and then he'll be releasing Batman 2 sometime in the future. They delayed it. I don't remember when it's coming out. But anywho, she is also, her previous work included Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So she is familiar with the superhero space.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was fun.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was good. And it's probably one of the best Marvel shows that's ever come out. And people be like neglecting to rank it when they talk about shows.
It produced one of the greatest MCU villains, which is Grant Ward.
Oh, Mike, this ain't about
the gift that never dies.
Ooh, that character just kept coming back and coming back and coming back. You'd be like, if y'all don't chop that man head off.
Why have a villain of the week when you can just have Grant Ward every season?
He was like an alien at one point. I was like, what the heck are y'all doing? Yeah. Anywho, if she worked on anything that had to do with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., she's good. So our cast and characters for this show are Colin Farrell returns as Oswald Oz Cobb. Now, what is the Penguin's original name? Because they've changed it, right?
They made it Oz.
Okay.
In the show, just Oz, but it's canonically Oswald Cobblepot.
Cobblepot. Okay. Okay. Yes. And then we have Kristen Milotti, who plays Sophia Falcone.
Yes.
Say her full name for right now. Then we have Renzi Felice, who plays Victor Vic Alglar. He goes by Vic in the show. Nobody ever calls him Victor. And then we have Deidre O'Connell, who plays Frances Cobb, who is Oz's mama. And there's a bunch more people in this.
It's a show.
We ain't got all day.
Yeah.
There's so many supporting reoccurring characters.
It's a premium streaming series, so it has a bunch of faces.
It does. Yes. It does. Some good, some last a long time, some here for a good time, not a long time, things of that nature. Yeah. So episodes were 8 total, and they were each about an hour long. So it's no commercials.
They didn't have the random 30-minute episodes in the middle.
They didn't do us like Marvel.
Their runtime.
They didn't do us like Marvel. Each episode was at least probably an hour. Yeah. Budget, no idea. Box office, it's not a movie.
No.
Cinema score don't exist. But Rotten Tomatoes score for critics was a 95 and audience a 92. If that gives you any hints of how this show was reviewed amongst our people. So, do you want to give us a plot of Penguin?
Sure. So, the plot of The Penguin is essentially, this is picking up not too long after Carmine Falcone.
2 years, I think.
Very recently.
Yeah.
Carmine Falcone. I don't even think it's been 2 years because the way it picks up.
Or maybe it's like a week.
Yeah.
It's very recent.
Very recent.
Maybe
after Carmine Falcone has been killed in The Batman, there is a power grab, of course.
Right.
And Oswald wants to use this opportunity as his best chance to reach for the top.
Yeah.
In Carmine's absence. But he's being opposed by the remaining living Falcones.
Right.
And the Maronis, who are also trying to reclaim their title as the original mob crime bosses of Gotham.
Yeah.
So we're basically just following Oswald through hijinks as he reaches for his official title, the Penguin.
Hijinks is a very interesting term that you would call it. But yes, that is pretty much how the show. It's giving mob show to me.
It's kind of like an origin story that takes place after we've already been introduced to the character.
Okay. Okay. I would agree with that. Yeah. Reverse origin story.
Yes. Retroactive origin story.
The sequel to the origin story that was semi in the movie you just watched. I will say that if you have not watched The Batman, it will do you some good to watch it. I mean, The Batman is good, first of all. You don't need to watch The Batman.
No, the only thing you really need to know is that Carmine died in The Batman.
Yes. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
I would recommend watching The Batman first, just you have the context there, but I guess technically you don't need to. It's very interesting.
If you have a passing knowledge of Gotham,
you're probably fine.
Lore, you're probably fine.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, let's get into our non-spoiler thoughts first about this. Do you want to first? Or you want me to go first?
You can go first.
So all the acting in this, excellent.
Top tier.
If you have not seen The Batman, then you have not seen Colin Farrell literally disappear into Oz. Every episode, I would have a moment where I'd be looking at the TV and be like, "That's Colin Farrell in there. I can't believe it." Yeah. But his whole mannerisms change. He's got like a accent, how he walks, talks. He's just
almost like watching him act as a different person acting as Oswald Cobblepot.
Yes.
It's like he's invented an actor in there. I kind of want to see him playing Oswald Cobblepot in a different movie. not playing Oswald Cobblepot.
Right.
It's just like he's invented a person.
It's very good. Like Colin Farrell deserves all the Emmys, SAGs, Golden Globes, whatever TV award is out there. Colin Farrell deserves it because he was good. The rest of the cast is also good. What is her name? I'm forgetting her name already. Kristen, who plays Sophia, very good.
Yes.
Vic, his character, Renzi Felice, his character makes some dumb decisions. The actor who plays him is very good at it. And then Deidre O'Connell, perfect as eyes. Like, if you would think of who raised you, she did it. Yeah. Like, she played that character very well. All our supporting cast is very good. It is kind of a crime mob show, and in that respect, people compare it to Sopranos, and I think it's not the Sopranos because we don't have, like, we're not around a family, like one family. Not the whole show has Sopranos elements when we're talking about the Falcone specifically. Okay. But not the overall show. Yeah, I've seen people call the overall show Sopranos. Yeah, I was like, no, it's not like the Sopranos. It's a bit different than that, but it does have that like crime, mob, drugs, all that. So if that's not your thing, this ain't the show for you. Yeah. And then I like that they don't bother to give anybody a path to redemption in this show. They stuck to everybody's terrible. No, they do give you some of the characters. They do give you reasons to empathize with them. Sure, but they are not good people. No, you can empathize with anybody on any matter of things, but that does not change the person. No. They did a very good job with that. So I guess that would be another non-spoiler thought, is that the writing is also good. Mm-hmm. I'll leave it at that as non-spoiler. I'll say my rest for spoiler. Okay, so I agree with all of your points. The writing is good. I'll say the music is also good. Okay. A fun fact, the music was composed by Mick Giacchino. Colin Farrell was really good. Like I said, he kind of invents a new actor in this kind of. I watch it and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see this actor in something else. This actor's really good. And I'm like, it's Colin Farrell. It's Colin Farrell in 2 hours of makeup. He does a really good job as Penguin, and the writers do a really good job at giving you a character who, like I said, you can empathize with, you can feel for, because Gotham is a horrible place that creates horrible people. So you feel for anybody who has any situation in Gotham. Every character has a moment where you're like, oh, that really sucks. But in life, we make choices. So. And then they make a choice, and you're like, you really suck. Right. So basically, I like that it did that tug of war with you. It's trying to make you feel and root for this character who's awful, and then they pull you back in. It's like, oh, he's doing something awful. In the same episode, like 20 minutes apart. Scenes later. Yeah, scenes apart. He's like doing something good and doing something completely awful to somebody else. Or a flashback, and you're like, yeah, you've been terrible. Or a flashback who reveals that nothing about you is genuine or altruistic at all. Right. I will say that Kristen Milioti, Sophia Falcone, was my favorite character. Okay. In the series, I will say, because I empathized with her plight the most. Agree. Her character in this series more is on a revenge angle. And that's something that I couldn't connect with. Not that anybody's done anything awful to me that I need revenge for, but that's like something. This? I hope not. Her motivation is something that I can understand. Oswald's motivation throughout the whole series is just power. Yeah. And it doesn't seem like he's doing that for anybody but himself. Yeah, Sophia's motivation is something that I feel I can get more behind. Yes. Even though she's doing it for herself. Revenge is something that makes a lot more sense to me. There are a couple of decisions she makes, and I'm like, girl, I can't root for you. And it makes it made it more likable for her that the people who were in her way were worse than her. Correct. And you wanted them to get what they deserve. So you were behind her for whatever she decided to do. Her revenge was warranted. She was taking that away from her. She was the face of supporting women's wrongs. And being right show. And by any means necessary. Let me put it that way. She ain't care. I also did like Vic's character as well. Somebody did mention that Vic was the only character in the show who brought stakes because you knew Oswald was going to make it. You didn't really feel like Sophia needed to make it. Not necessarily. But Vic is the one character you wanted to make it. Correct. You knew Oz was guaranteed. Sophia didn't have to, but Vic is the one you wanted to make it. Because Vic is like, I don't know if he's a teenager, but he's young. Yeah. I think, it says he's a homeless teenager. Yep.
Yeah.
So
Gotham is a show where anybody can go, and Vic kind of plays the character in this show that keeps you on the edge because this is an awful city. He's not an awful person, so you kind of want to make sure he's protected. And he doesn't have an awful
background. Like he's really just trying to survive in a city that's been flooded.
Yeah.
And he's just trying to do the best he can.
Yeah.
So yeah, I agree.
As far as the rest of the show, I like the way it was shot. The cinematography was good. It reminded me of being in The Batman. The only difference was it takes a lot more of it takes place in the daytime, and in the daytime Gotham kind of just looks like a city.
Gotham look real ordinary.
Yeah, I like nighttime Gotham when
dirty.
Yeah, or when the criminals are out. That's what I like.
You like when all the bad things happen.
Yes, that's my favorite type of Gotham. But the cinematography was really good. I like the costuming. Because it's present day, but everybody's dressed like 50s gangsters.
It does, and that's going back to like it's given like Casino or Goodfellas, but it's not a casino or a Goodfella, but it got the tone, it's got the look, it's got the feel of a casino or a Goodfellas.
It's like they pulled people out of a Casino or Goodfellas era movie, put them in a present day film,
right?
Because they're dressed old timey. But all of the technology and the rest of the world is present day.
Yeah, because Sophia's outfits are very, I don't want to call them old school, vintage.
Classic Italian mobster wear.
Yeah, it's given like vintage, but it's like 2024. So you're like, this is interesting. But it kind of sets the show apart from other shows where it would be more modernized. Yeah. And they would have like more modern clothes. Yeah, I agree with that.
That's all I need for non-spoiler.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we will now get into our spoiler section. So if you don't want to be spoiled about the Penguin, you're going to watch it, pause, come back, because we are going to get in spoilers in 3 and 2 and 1. So let's start off with our character study. Okay. First up on the list, we have Colin Farrell as Oz. We both already talked about how good the acting was, but let's talk about Oz as a character.
So Oz is the main character. He's the character we follow through the show.
It's terrible.
We are following up with him.
So bad.
Awful. So we pick up with him immediately after Carmine is dead.
Yep.
And the first thing Oz does is kill his son.
And not even like an accident.
No.
His son is like basically talking down to Oz because everybody in the families sees Oz as just like the help.
Yes.
Essentially, like the guy who does the dirty work for you, not very much respect. So the son is talking to him he's talking down to him like, you're nobody, you worked for us, whatever. And Oz just get real in his feeling and just shoot the boy.
And from a criminal standpoint, it's kind of justified because Alberto was not in any of the films.
No.
The film. I say films. Like
I know, right? That's what I said earlier.
See, Alberto was not in the film. He was introduced to be killed in this show.
And he's a very like goofy... Like, he's not smart enough to run no family.
And that's why it's kind of justified from Oswald's standpoint why he killed him, because Alberto has had no involvement in the criminal operations or running it. But as soon as his dad dies, he wants to usurp everybody and take control just because it's I
think he's like a drug addict or something too.
Yeah, and he's a drug addict as well. But because it's the family business, he wants to take control. He feels like it's his right. And Oswald is like the boots on the ground guy who's actually been doing the dirty work. So
yes.
And they make it very clear that he has triggers. He does not like to be laughed at, and he does not like to be mocked or to feel left out of something.
Yes,
he does not like to not be.
He's very insecure.
Yeah, he needs to feel included as well. So he needs to be respected, not mocked, and feel included in everything. He will turn homicidal.
Oh, not just you, but everybody around you, which is very interesting. He's also a mama's boy, I would say.
Yeah.
But in a very interesting sort of way. Like, he needs to be in control, but he will start one lie and then build up lies on top of it, and will just keep going and going, and like literally to the all 8 episodes. Yeah. The man starts off killing the son. Lies about it, and literally has to continue to lie through the rest of this.
Yeah, so throughout most of this, probably up to the halfway point, once the jig is up, that once everybody knows that he was the one who killed Alberto, he pretty much lies his way throughout the series.
Trying to survive.
To everyone, because everyone is trying to kill him just for the purpose of just him existing and being a scumbag and constantly stabbing people in the back.
Exactly.
But he has to constantly lie and make promises that he's not going to fulfill on just so he can live to see another day.
And he will lie to everybody.
Yeah.
Literally everybody.
And that's also what made his character dynamic with Vic so good, is because Vic is so sweet and innocent throughout this show. You don't know when or if he's going to officially turn on Vic or throw Vic under the bus, because he does that to so many other people who also say they have a good history with him as well.
I think that I actually thought midway that he was going to pop Vic.
Yeah, Vic could have went at any
like,
time.
I mean, we saw it coming.
I mean, it's got them. Anybody can go anytime. And I like the fact that that isn't just a thing with extras or bystanders or background characters. Anybody could go at any time with main characters.
Yeah.
And most of them do at any time.
I do like that about a show where everybody's able to go. Now, I knew Oz wasn't going to get killed because it's the Penguin. You're not killing your titular character. But everybody else, free reign, in my opinion. That's how I viewed them. Yeah, for sure.
So basically what Oz is trying to do is he is trying to be the one guy who controls
all the
drugs and the crime in Gotham. He
Pretty
wants
much
to be the crime kingpin in Gotham. He doesn't want to share it with the family.
Right.
His philosophy is to get rid of the families because they're immigrants. Like he said, they're Italians. They come over. They took over Gotham.
Yep.
And he is Irish, but you know,
sure,
there's something to say about how Irish people migrated and felt about America when they first came over.
Different clothes, I suppose.
Right.
I mean, they have different ethnicity or different ethnicities, but it's kind of like y'all all terrible together.
And it also adds to his mindset of being like Irish and not liking any other immigrants to come after him. Kind of mimics that 1950s or early 90s feel,
where all the different like ethnical groups was like fighting each other because they was like, we deserve to be in America.
Right.
Like,
he kind of had like even though everybody was like dressed and acting like they were in the 50s a lot through the show, they also kind of had like that mindset as well.
Yeah, like you don't deserve to be here.
Like they came over, took over the cities and felt like that they owned it and they run it and it can't be taken from them.
Like ain't nobody's ancestors from here. Like, what are we talking about?
Everybody's immigrant. Everybody's fighting each other.
Hello.
So I like that. I like that part of his character. It's very contradictory because it's like you want all this power, you think you deserve it, and you're talking about everybody else like they don't belong. And it's like, but you're a part of all of this.
Oz is definitely a walking contradiction.
Absolutely.
And there are some scenes though where characters call him out on it, and you could tell he don't like it, and he get real like he got a real menacing look when he hears something he don't like, and you can just see his wheels starting to like, he gonna try to get rid of this person.
Or it's funny when he calls himself out on his own stuff, like when he calls himself a scumbag when he knows he's being a scumbag, or when he betrays somebody and they're like, you betrayed me. He's like, well, what did you think I was gonna do? Like,
true. There's a scene with Vic where he's clearly making Vic feel bad, but the way he's saying it, like Vic is taking it to heart, like, oh my God, he actually like, cares. And it's like, no, he don't, Vic. No. It's just, he's a scumbag.
Yes. And a manipulator.
Right. Yeah. Yes, exactly.
But I liked his character dynamic with Sophia in the beginning.
Okay.
When Sophia was originally planning to take back power from her family, when they were going to originally ship her back to Italy when she had gotten out of Arkham.
Right.
I liked the angle they were going with, that it was going to be the two of them against the Falcones. Yeah. But even though I like their dynamic and I like the scenes when they had like chemistry and friendship and they were getting along, specifically the scene when they busted in and caught Doug Stamper cheating.
Yeah, that was
with the
good.
Boss's wife.
That was good.
I liked how their banter back and forth.
That was good.
But the whole time I felt bad because I'm like, Sophia, he killed your brother. And they did a good job at having him do that opening scene of the show because you constantly forget that he did that throughout the show.
Yes.
When he has his good moments with Sophia.
I actually thought they were going to hold off to the very end of the show for her to find out that he killed her brother. But it's literally maybe 3 or 4 episodes in.
It's like the halfway point.
Yeah, maybe less than a halfway point. Sophia finds out what really happened, and then it kind of becomes the families versus Oz. But their back and forth was good. Their banter was good because we found out that Oz used to be Sophia's driver. So that's how their relationship ended up building up. And when I saw them working together, I was more like, as soon as she finds that, she's going to kill him.
Yeah.
She's going to try to kill him.
Yeah.
When are we about to find this out? So their dynamic was good. Actually, their dynamic was good both when they were on the same side and when they were not on the same side.
Yeah. So my note, I did put a note that everybody has at least one quality, and that's what. And you know, Oz is a bad person, but I found myself very confused why people would be like, "Oh, well, you know, why did Oz have to do that?" And I was rooting for Oz. Oz, why couldn't you do that for Vic? And I'm just like, that it's unrealistic. He's always been a terrible person. He's shown that, and they've gone through lengths to show that throughout the show. Everybody has at least one quality. Oz's one good quality is that he grew up in the hood. Yeah. Everybody he knows is from the hood, so he happens to care about the hood. And I feel like that's why people connect with him because he's like, they're like, Oz is a man of the people. And Sophia says that in the last episode. Oz, man of the people. And he's like, and he's talking to the mayor about getting the power turned back on.
Yeah, and he gets it turned on.
Don't confuse this with Oz being a good person. Oz is living in the hood, and the hood is his life. So he's going to watch out for the hood because that's where he is.
Right. But, and that's where he get all his resources.
But let's not get confused with the fact that he's a villain and he's not changing his stripes.
Right.
But
he for the people to the people get in the way.
Yeah.
How about that?
But that is one quality of his that I did enjoy.
Yeah.
That because he's from the hood and he takes care of the hood because and those are the people that trust him. I was surprised when Sal came in to kill him. Yeah. In the last episode. I was surprised that that the people that Oz hired
didn't turn on him?
Yeah, that they stood up for him. Like the first guy tried to stop him from shooting him, and Sal hit him with the gas canister. And I was like, I'm surprised you have people to have your back.
But that's how loyal they are to him, because like you said, he be in the hood.
He takes care of people in the hood.
Yeah.
So that's one good quality about him.
I'm putting good in quotation marks.
And I'll say that I really like the child actor.
Oh, he was good.
Both the child actor for him and Deirdre were super, super good.
Child eyes and younger mom, very good.
I almost had to pause because I thought that the young mom actors are so good. I thought they just like used de-aging technology.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they two different people.
But they're two different people. Because I was like, wow, she's like spot on.
She's very, They're
both spot on.
They did very good with that. And she's also a good actress. So they managed to find somebody who was also not good at acting, but also looked like old mom Oz.
But the child Oz was really good at playing like a child actor that you despise because you know he did something bad and he's lying.
Yeah.
The scene when he's in the nightclub telling his mom he's gonna give her the life he deserves, and she's looking at the back of his head like I could put a bullet through it, and he's like making all these promises. He sells it.
He sells his
mama.
He sells his old mama on hijinks.
A really, really good actor.
He's like what 10? I don't know. I was like, oh, you convincing, but you about to be real bad, and we all know it.
Those are my notes on Oz.
Okay, so let's move on to Kristen Milioti. Am I saying her name right?
I think it's Milioti.
Milioti.
Yeah.
Jay saving the day again. Who plays Sophia Falcone / Sophia Gigante. Gigante.
Yes.
Sorry. So she changes her name. She changes her last name halfway through the show because so she was the Carmine Falcone's daughter who initially it seemed like he was going to bring up to lead the family, but she was a woman, so it wasn't really common or whatever,
and he wanted her to. They have a conversation about it, and she's like, okay, I'm feeling good, like this is about to be the thing. But then she starts questioning her dad's not motives but actions, because some prostitutes ended up dying. Yes. Turns out, surprise, surprise, he did it. But he realizes that she finds out, and they send her behind to Arkham. Yeah. And then the whole family, besides her brother, are just sign off affidavits or whatever, say, yeah, she's been crazy her whole life and she deserves to be in there. And he literally sends his daughter to the worst place on earth. Yeah. So for a decade. That is the Reeves verse way of turning her into the Hangman character from the comics. Okay. Associating her with the character, because in the comics Sophia Gigante is a really huge Bane size imposing character. But she does actually she is actually an active serial killer. She does hang people. Okay. That's her style of murder in the comics. But in the show,
It's just a rumor.
It's just a rumor.
Right.
The hangman is a person, but nobody really knows, quote unquote.
Right. She's basically pinned to the hangman because of what her dad set up.
So that's how they kind of line it up with canon.
That's kind of cool though. How they added that lore, but changed the backstory a little bit. So she has to go to Arkham for 10 years. She gets out, and when she gets out, she finds out her brother has died, and that's when she gets on her revenge path. Yeah. Essentially. She was very good at, I guess initially I was really hoping that Sophia would just see right through Oz. Because for the first 3 episodes or so, she doesn't know that Oz has killed her brother. And she just like believing Oz. Even though she knows that the reason why she ended up at Arkham is because Oz told her dad, like, homegirl asking questions, you might want to do something about it.
And that was something that didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, she was too trustworthy of Oz when Oz played a role in her being sent to Arkham.
Well, and Oz was the last face you saw in Freedom. Because he was the last person with you before you were arrested.
That's true. I mean, she saw her brother later, but you don't really know.
And she knew at that point that he was the one who had betrayed her because he was the one who drove her to meet the reporter.
Right, and I think her dad might have mentioned it or something.
Yeah, he mentioned it to her dad. Oz mentioned it to her dad. So she knew. I just found it very weird that Oz was the person she decided to team up with just because they were both done bad by the
Falcons.
It's like, yeah, but you in my mind, if I was Sophia, I'd be like, I don't empathize with you. You were done bad by the people that you did bad with against me with.
Right. Yeah. So that was interesting that she just kind of rolled with it. But once she realizes the truth, she flips on him and she's like, we out to kill, like, I'm killing that man. She don't empathize with him. She's definitely like, I want him to die a slow, painful death. She's even though she's not like the big Bane huge person like she is in the comics, she is quite menacing. She got a crazy eye. Yeah. Crazy eyes, because her eyes look fine, but she got a look that's definitely very menacing. And I like how they didn't just brush away the fact that she was in Arkham for 10 years, because it looked crazy now. Yeah. From being in there.
So, yeah, the casting for Sophia totally subverted my expectations from, like, the large, imposing character. Yeah. And instead of going for, like, brute strength, they went for...
stealthy.
Unpredictable, because she was, like, a little... They played with if she was a little crazy or not.
She was.
And...
You gotta be.
I think she was made crazy because you go to Arkham. You just don't come out right because they torture you in there.
It's the worst place on earth. Yeah. So, yes.
I feel like she still had her grasp on reality.
For the most part. Like, she was still sane, but she definitely had her crazy moments.
Her line between good and evil was blurred. But I don't think she was losing it.
I don't think she had a line. I think she just had revenge.
I think she had a line before she went into Arkham.
Oh, yes,
it seemed like
absolutely.
She was somebody who was speaking up for women and was interested in... I mean, she knew who her father was, and still she risked taking the meeting with the reporter.
Yes, because I thought that was interesting, because, like, your dad's a horrible person, and you trying to do good. Girl, this ain't the life for you. It's not gonna work well.
I thought making her just a little bit crazy, a little unpredictable, made it her fun and her character fun, because you just weren't sure what she was gonna do. Highlighted by the surprise of her murdering her entire family. I did not think that that's what she was going to do.
No, I did not see her taking the family out.
Especially not the way that she did it. So if she hooked the whole house up, the ventilation system in the house up to some type of gas.
I'm assuming carbon monoxide.
Carbon monoxide, yes. And they all died. Everybody in the house died of carbon monoxide poisoning except for her, who was wearing a mask, and her niece, who she put in the greenhouse, I think. Right, which wasn't exposed to it.
Right.
So that was a surprise, and I thought that made her character a little fun.
They deserved it,
and it was justified.
It was.
It's fun watching her get revenge because it's justified. Because, like you said, everybody on the show is bad,
right?
And the people that are against her are worse.
Yes.
So you want the worst people to go first.
Right. It's also interesting to see her and Oz go back and forth, because they basically, she's trying to get after him, and Oz trying to get away. So there's several scenes of, like, they real close to, like, doing each other off, but then something happens and then she don't get her chance to get him. Yeah. So that dynamic, even though now they're enemies, even though they should have been enemies from the whole show, is also good. But she's complex because she's been put in a situation that she didn't deserve, like Arkham. She comes out. She's obviously not all the way there because she got put in that situation. Mm-hmm. She's on a revenge path. It's by any means necessary, but every now and then, but not every now and then, but you still feel kind of sorry for her because of what she had to go through.
I mean, you feel for her because had they not went against her and stuck her in Arkham and made her the patsy, she would have been fine. Yeah. She was evil because of the way that they betrayed her, and for that, she was the karma that came back to get them. Yeah. My last note is I'll say that I don't like the mullet, but I like it for her because I feel like it's her Bob moment. And we know.
When you get the vibe
in the movies, when you have a strong female character, well, a female character who doesn't start out strong, but halfway through she finds
has
her
a
strength.
Traumatic experience.
Traumatic experience. Yep. She finds her strength, and she does her big chop, and the big chop is always the bob. Yep. But this was the mullet. Now, so
I tried to do a mullet, but they didn't have a long hair. But this is my Sophia. This is my Sophia hair.
I feel like the mullet was her bob moment, so I like it for her. But I do not like mullets in general. And
her hair
is spiky mullet.
Yeah, her hair at the beginning of the show is so much better than her hair at the end. I was like, now why y'all do? And she's a nice look. Like the actress is a nice looking woman. So you're like, now why y'all do her hair like that?
You know what though? It's a comic book villain look.
Oh,
if this is because what they like to do is they reintroduce a new character in the show or in the movie, and then going forward in comics or whatever else animated they appear and they'll change the look. So I can see. Because originally she was pretty, but she didn't have like a distinct look. This is a distinct look if they decide to use her in like animation or something.
Fair enough.
That's the Sophia Gigante.
Her hair, basically, if you are watching our YouTube show, her hair looks like what my hair looked like. She just got the long mullet look. I don't like it. I was like, give the girl her OG pre-Arkham hair back, please.
Let's talk about Vic.
So Vic is our homeless teenager who tries to rob Oz.
Yeah, just like Jason Todd.
Okay. So he tries to rob Oz. Oz catches him, and instead of killing him, he basically begs for his life and becomes Oz's driver and personal assistant. Yeah. Essentially. So Vic is doing all the things. Vic is burying bodies. Vic is planning things. Vic is paying people off. Vic is getting himself deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper into Oz's life, and it's not good. Yeah. Vic even has a chance to leave early on in the show, and he don't take it. And the minute he didn't do that, I was like, Vic, you just signed your death sentence.
Yeah, so I knew Vic was dead the moment he didn't get on that Greyhound.
Oh, Lord.
Vic's fate was sealed. And it didn't make sense to me that he didn't get on the Greyhound because I wasn't fully convinced. I was not fully convinced that he was fully convinced to stay by Oswald. Because prior to him not getting on the bus, he had that dinner scene with Oswald.
Yeah, they in the bathroom and Oz is telling him
about, how much potential that I seen you.
Oh, you're talking about that scene. Yeah, okay.
They're going to tell stories about us and all of that. And I'm just like, well, this is good, but he's telling the same things that everybody else says. He's Sophia, like Sophia said, you're good at telling people what they want to hear.
Yeah.
And it just sucked that Vince could not see through that.
And what's interesting is when Vic tries to leave, Oz makes him feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
And Vic, he takes it and then he tries to leave, but he feels so bad about it. He comes back and it's like, Vic, this is an example of where he bigs you up and then talks down to you
and it sucks
in the same day.
It sucks because as the audience, we know that he's like manipulating him.
Right.
But Vic doesn't. And it almost kind of seems like Vic refuses to, but it's writing. You wouldn't have a character if they didn't write him a little foolish. So.
And he's also a teenager, right? So Vic lost his whole family in the flood from the Batman movie. So he's just by himself. He's trying to make it. He becomes Oz's right-hand man, essentially, his hit hand. For lack of a better word. And he's a ride or die for Oz all the way till his death. Yeah. Which is in the very last episode.
Yeah. So a lot of people, I think, a lot of people said they watched the whole show and they felt like the relationship between Oz and Vic was like genuine, and they felt like Vic was going to make it into like the movies, or Vic would make it into the next season.
Poor things.
For me, I kind of knew that Vic wasn't going to make it, and Oz was going to let Vic be killed.
Okay.
But I didn't think that Oz was going to kill Vic. But I knew that Vic was going to die from the moment Oz let Sophia kill Vic's friends to cover himself.
Oz did not.
And that was like episode 2 or 3.
It's 1 or 2. It was early.
When Sophia first gets word of the truth. When she should have stuck to her gut the first time. But when she first realized that Oz killed Alberto.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
She kidnapped Oz.
She did.
And she found that out because she had asked around. And she found Vic's 2 friends who were assisting in trying to steal his tires.
Yeah.
And
pop.
She asks Oz, are they liars? And
right.
Oz says yes. And she pops both of them in the head and kills them. And Oz Kanza lets her. And he doesn't tell Vic. And I'm like, Vic is just a street kid that you use for whatever means. And you're going to use him because he's loyal and he's scared.
And he has nowhere else to go.
But by the end, you're going to get rid of him. And that's kind of exactly what he did.
Yeah, so at the very end, it's like the second to last scene of the series. Vic tells Oz, you kind of like my family now. Oz was like, oof, wrong word to say to me. This is not the Fast and the Furious, my friend. And chokes him to death. Yeah. And then takes the money out his wallet and throws his ID into the water.
Yeah, because he had to make it look like a mugging.
Exactly. And so now Vic basically dies as John Doe.
Yeah.
In the series.
Just like his other 2 friends who died John Does and were missing. And he's on another missing. They do a lot of showing people on missing posters because people just die and go missing.
If they would even know who he was, because his whole family was also gone.
Yeah.
And he was... The chick that he was going to go leave on a Greyhound with went to like California. Yeah. So she probably, who knows?
And I think in the end, they did it deliberately just to show that Vic is just another person in Gotham. Like there's nothing special. Because honestly, Vic didn't do anything unique or special in the show.
No.
And then he died. And I think that's the writer saying Vic is just a Gotham citizen. This is just this is the life of Gotham. And he just happens to be a background character.
And Oz treats like everyone like they're disposable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my biggest issue, Vic. Yeah, my biggest issue is that Vic failed to realize, like we said earlier, that everybody who is trying to kill Oz right now was a friend of Oz. They used to be in cahoots with Oz.
In his circle of some sort.
In his circle, they were friends. They were on good terms. Everybody who you are trying to assist him in evading murder was his friend. Sophia was his friend.
He was her driver.
And it's just funny that Vic didn't realize that just because Oz is good to you, you're not the only person Oz has ever been good to.
Right.
He killed his brothers. I mean, you didn't know that.
Right. But it was crazy as Vic actually, when Vic came back, decided not to get on a Greyhound, Oz was about to get smoked in the middle of his eyeballs.
That's another thing.
And Vic saved his life.
That's another thing with Vic.
Oh, and he left Sophia for dead.
So he left Sophia for dead. Yeah. But earlier in that episode, when he had the conversation with his girlfriend, and he was talking about being afraid to run. Yeah. Because his girlfriend was like, that's more of a reason you should run if you're afraid that he might find you. I wasn't convinced that was a good reason because you are afraid. You're telling your girlfriend you're afraid to run because he might find you because he's a big gangster. At this point in the story, the odds are not in Oswald's favor. And it doesn't look like he's going to evade both Sophia and the Maronis.
He would have had to find out who the girlfriend was, torture the girlfriend's family, go to California. Yeah. Go to California, find out where they at. Then, that would have been too much work.
There's no way that Vince thought if I run, he's going to survive being killed by the Maronis and the Falcones and have time to come find me wherever I go.
To do what?
No. You could have made a clean getaway because he would have been too dead or too busy to go looking for you.
Yeah, and I would have too busy.
And if you didn't save him, he would have been too dead.
Hello.
So nobody would have been looking for
you. You're right about that. Vic should have left.
It happens.
And
Tragic characters.
When he didn't, death warrants.
Last character on our main characters list is Deirdre O'Connell, who plays Frances Cobblepot, or Cobb in this show.
My favorite.
That's your favorite character?
Because she's not as prominent in the beginning. So Oz's mom is basically hidden. Like, nobody knows where she lives but Oz. And he goes through, like, trains, planes, and automobiles to get to where her house is. Because he has told people his mom is dead. Once again, Oz is a liar. But he's very much a mama's boy. Like, whatever he does, she's like, oh, you're so good. She she's supporting his rise to power or whatever. He even tells her that he killed the Falcone kid. And she's like, okay, now's your time. You about to be the best of the best. But what she also has is dementia.
Yes.
So we go through these,
which gets worse throughout the show.
Exactly. So we go through the show, and she's like progressively getting worse. And Oz will not give her like a caretaker. No. She's basically got Vic looking after her, and we've already talked about how Vic ain't the smartest teenager. So, and she also had like the landlord looking after her.
He's in denial about her condition, which is weird because you have the money to pay a under the table actual caretaker. I'm sure there's some type of shady nurse.
Listen,
God, will come out
that would have come and take care of her just as she needed, but he's in denial, and then he also is so selfish because she actually asked him, like, if this gets too bad and I become like, basically a vegetable, get me out of here.
One of my favorite scenes of hers.
She said, get me, and by here, I mean,
she said, I need you to help me die.
Yeah, she don't want to live if that's the life she's going to live. Yeah. And at the very end of the goddamn season, she becomes a vegetable.
Yeah.
Because she has a stroke. She can't move. She can't talk. She can't do anything. And Oz keeps her alive.
Yes. And I think he did that as revenge.
You think so?
I think he did that as for two things. I think he did that, one, because he has an Oedipus complex.
Yeah.
Two, for revenge for trying to have him killed.
Yes. So we get some backstory of Oz's. We get two flashback scenes. One's a whole episode. One's just kind of like more of a scene. But so the first one was Sophia in Arkham. The second one was Oz as a kid. And basically what Oz did, because his older brothers picked on him, he locked them in a underground water tunnel.
Yeah.
It flooded and they died.
Yeah.
He knew that he locked his brothers down there and never said anything.
Yeah.
His entire life.
And I saw some people chalking that up to kids doing something. I mean, when you're a kid, you're getting revenge. You're not really thinking fully what the consequences of what you're doing. You're just thinking about getting a one-up on the people who did you wrong or something.
Not this kid.
Like, kids don't know. Like, I saw some people kind of attributing it to like, oh, kids don't know what guns are. Like, they just see toys and then they pull the trigger and somebody's dead and they don't actually understand the consequences of what they did until later.
This kid. No. Oz is, and he's also in the life, I guess. There's obviously mob ties around him as he's a kid.
He has aspirations of being a mob boss as a child.
Exactly. So he's he ain't normal child thinking. He locked them boys in there.
And I think he felt sidelined by them.
Yes, because he thought that his mom liked them more or whatever. He just wanted his mom all to himself. And she says that. Like, he killed my sons because he wanted me to himself. So we get to see her live as if she loves Oz with all her heart. But at the end, she actually tells him that I hate you. And I've hated you ever since I knew that you killed my kids.
Yeah.
And she has that. And then she also has like the dementia. So she kind of flips back and forth to being like lucid and not lucid. And just her whole ending was sad.
Yeah.
Like, she doesn't die.
He didn't have any remorse about killing his brothers at all.
He didn't.
No.
And I saw it as he kept her alive because he couldn't live without her because he's such a mama's boy. And he was so in denial. But I think it's interesting you see it as revenge.
I see it as revenge because we do see that he has Eve to be his mom.
Yeah.
When he wants to. So I see it as revenge. And that's why he said family makes you weak.
Right, which is why he killed Vic.
And it's in line. He's a scumbag, so it would make total sense that he would keep his mom alive after finding out that she wanted somebody to kill him
as a kid.
And she also took her shot when he was tied up in the final episode when Sophia had them both capped. She took her shot at killing him.
Yep, she tried. Okay, twice. So
and
she
then
tried
had
to
her
kill him
stroke.
twice.
So I feel like he definitely keeps her alive as revenge.
And at the very end of the show, the last shot we see of her is a tear coming down her eye, and he's kind of like, "Oh, Mom, isn't it so beautiful?" Because he's like has her up in the penthouse looking over the city. I'm like, no, she's crying because she didn't want to be.
She's a prisoner in her own body.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Because he's awful.
Yeah.
But so those are our main characters. We can talk a little bit about some of the other characters as we talk about our likes and dislikes.
Yeah, very quickly. Non-main characters that I enjoyed, absolutely Clancy Brown as Salvatore Maroni. My only negative is that I don't like the way he died. I think it's a cheap shot.
Are we the same person? Because one of my notes says, a heart attack? Really?
You can't suspend my disbelief. I can suspend my disbelief that Oswald is as mobile and as efficient as in a shootout in surviving against more athletic people.
Listen, he carried his mom up out of that
with one shoulder while hobbling and shooting at Sophia, and made a clean getaway. I can suspend my disbelief for that because it's a superhero show.
Sure.
That doesn't, but you can't do that and say Clancy Brown's too old to finish a fight. That doesn't make sense to me.
Y'all, I'm sorry, not Clancy Brown. Maroney died via a heart attack when he was fighting with Oz. And I was like...
Boo. It almost felt like they ran out of writing ideas for that death.
They could have just had Oz kill him. With a shotgun.
It did highlight the fact that Oz is mentally unstable because he had an argument with Clancy Brown's dead body.
And then shot him.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yes, I did like Clancy Brown when he was alive.
And the other non-main character that I'll shout out, two. I think Mark Strong did a great job as a Carmine Falcone replacement.
Agree.
For this. Mm-hmm. I think he did a really good job as a young John Turturro.
Yes. Agree.
I guess.
Agree.
And where is my guy?
Michael Kelly.
Who did he play?
Doug.
Yes, Doug Stamper.
Mm-hmm.
I love seeing Doug Stamper and stuff.
Everything.
So Michael Kelly plays Johnny Vitti, who is the uncle of Sophia, right-hand man of the new head of the crime family.
Treats her like trash.
Awful.
Oh, he talked to Sophia real bad.
Awful.
You don't even feel bad when he get it because
but he catches his death.
He pew pew. She pop him right in between the eyeballs.
Oh, and shout out to Shoray, our Avasarala.
Yes.
From The Expanse. I love seeing her and hearing her voice and everything.
And she also gets it. I set her on.
And I knew it. I knew when I first saw her. I didn't think she
was going to die.
I knew when I first saw her and they casted her as Sal Maroney's wife because I didn't know she was going to be in it until she showed up on screen.
Exactly.
I was like, they're going to kill her, aren't they?
Dang, yeah.
Nobody's going to make it out of this except for Oz, so that means she's not going to make it.
I set her and her son on fire.
I hated the way she went, though.
Literally on fire, y'all. Yeah. We hear them screaming and flailing around in flames. So, yeah. I will also call out Eve, who is played by Carmen Ejogo?
Ejogo? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. She has been in a lot of things.
She was in one of the Purges.
She was also in, oh God, her filmography has got to be like 12 miles long.
Oh, Fantastic Beast. Yes.
She was in,
she was the Minister of Magic
for
the American. That might be the
last thing I've seen her in. She was in Alien Covenant. We just talked about that, actually.
She was in Alien Covenant. She got her face scratched off Bad Baby Xenomorph.
Oh.
Yes.
Darn. Oh, she was also apparently in the 2012 Alex Cross movie with Tyler Perry.
Oh, she was his wife. She was the one who was pregnant and got shot out that chair.
Okay. So she is, I like her when she's in anything she's ever in, but she plays Eve, which is basically Oz's boo thing. Yeah. She's also like the head prostitute leader of some sort. Mm-hmm. She's kind of like the madam.
They kind of give her Selena Kyle's role.
Okay. She was good. At the very end, Oz has her dress up as his mom, which is very strange.
I think that is
weird.
Always their thing.
Oh, do you?
Because the way she talks at the end is the way she talks to him at the end while she's dressed up as his mom.
It does seem like she's done it before.
The same way she talks to him any other time when she's with him.
I think
that's always their thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Weird.
Yeah, I think that's always their thing.
She looked great, but weird because what we did mention is she is the one who tells Sophia where Oz's mama is, and that never comes back because Sophia don't get the chance to tell nobody.
Well,
nothing.
Sophia said she wasn't going to tell.
Oh, she did, but I wonder if it could have slipped at some point. But
I feel like Sophia was good to other women.
Okay, fair enough.
Yes. Unless they were the cousin who wrote a letter and let her sit in Arkham. That girl got the gas.
She did, and I hate the fact that Sophia left her niece as an orphan. But whatever. I'll put that in my likes and dislikes. But yes, I liked Eve in this as well. So let's move on to our general likes and dislikes about the show. I'll say my first one because I just said it. I hated the fact. We already talked about how Maroney died.
Yes.
Hated that. But I did not like the fact that Sophia, when she kills off the family, she leaves the niece alive, and then the niece gets the lovely pleasure of going to Gotham Orphanage. Yeah. I'm like, girl, really?
I didn't see why she didn't just take care of the niece, but I guess she was
too busy killing everybody.
At that point, she was fully committing to being a new mob boss.
Well, she could have picked up the niece before she decided she was gonna head out of Gotham.
Or maybe she didn't want to constantly look at her niece knowing she killed her mother.
Okay, fair, fine. I give you that, but I did the whole show after she killed the family. I was like, I can't root for you because you left your niece in an orphanage.
I was surprised the niece came back. I thought the last time we were going to see the niece when she was being carted off in the school bus.
The niece was about to tell, and Sophia came.
And I thought that Sophia was going to quiet the niece, but
I wouldn't have been surprised. But Sophia had her moment where she talks to the niece. She told her the truth, I guess, and then she like broke down. I was like, girl, but you're leaving her here, so she should hate you for the rest of your life. Thanks. Yeah. And I already said it. I liked all the acting from everybody at the beginning. But did you have any other likes and dislikes?
I didn't have any additional likes to mention. Okay. And my only dislike is really that I don't think the show did anything new. Okay. Or different. I feel like all of these plot lines and all of these types of characters we've seen in other non-superhero regular this isn't even like superhero. This is based in a fantastical world, but it's not superhero related, really. Not the show.
Sure. I mean, Batman don't show up, so technically
they don't even mention Batman.
We see Batman's light at the end in the last 2 seconds of the show. If you were wondering if Batman shows up, he don't.
My only negative is it does. It's good writing. It's really good acting, but it didn't do anything new or shocking. These characters did things that were surprising, but in line with the characters. Okay. This should have been a straight release.
All of the episodes at once.
Yeah. I feel like in hindsight, I would have rather have binged this than waited week to week for it.
Agree. Now, I agree with you on that. And I say that because after the first 2 episodes, I was like, I don't know if I care enough to follow this week to week. And I didn't. So I would just watch a couple at a time as they came out because I was like, all of y'all are horrible. All of y'all deserve to get it. And I kind of just want to know who gets it at the end. Yeah. So I didn't. That is my main name. And that's maybe more of a personal thing than anything because I personally was kind of like, so where Batman at? Yeah. Oh, he's not going to be here. So all y'all need to go. Yeah. Like all y'all need to just take each other out and then we can get to Batman 2 and then we can move on. So
Anytime I go to Gotham, I want to see Batman. And that is why I will say we finished up the show with everybody else, but as far as following it week to week, I completely fell off.
Like I had to watch I think 3 before I watched the final one.
I finished today.
Good Lord. Like you finished and maybe it's just our personal preference. I just was
it's a good show, but I will say it is derivative.
Okay.
It doesn't do anything new.
Not really.
It is good to watch, but there wasn't anything that had I didn't have a sense of urgency, I would say, to rush to it. No. I mean, it was helped by the fact that the not having any urgency was helped by the fact that it didn't seem like a lot of other people were talking about it either.
It did not trend like, and this is a totally different show, but they both shows about villains based off superhero stuff. It didn't trend like Agatha.
That's a good example that's a good example to pull up for talking about trending though, because as much conversation as we saw about Agatha week to week, Agatha popped in at the bottom of the charts.
It did.
And we saw less conversation about Penguin, which it never popped into the chart. Not yet, not as of right now.
Because the ratings are delayed. Yeah. So yeah.
And I think a lot of people have also surmised that most people are waiting to binge it as well because of the pacing.
Okay. Okay, I will say something that's probably a little off the cuff. I actually, and I'm only 3 episodes in, I'm enjoying Alex Cross more than I'm enjoying Penguin.
Well, probably because Alex Cross gives you characters to root for.
Okay. Maybe that.
Yeah.
And Alex Cross is a little better to look at than Penguin. That might have something to do with it too. But I don't know. I think having a cast full of characters where I'm just kind of like, all y'all need to die, I'm not as invested.
It's also not a fun show.
No.
Like, it's not fun.
It's not really funny either.
But Sopranos isn't fun. It's tense. You never know who's going to die. Sopranos has fun, interesting character dynamics, and they have, comedic scenes.
Because we stay with the family, and then the mob family, essentially is who we stay with. We got a lot of different people.
This is a lot of anxiety because you know who's going to die.
Yeah.
It's not fun because most of the characters are bad people.
Yeah.
And the characters that you do follow, they give you reasons to feel for them, but they deliberately make sure that you do not like them.
Yeah.
They go to lengths to make sure you don't like them.
Right.
Yeah. So that's my only dislike is
fair enough. We have the same one.
Some pacing issues, and I think that my issue with the pace is that this is something we've seen before, so it feels extra slow and unnecessary.
Okay, and mine would mainly be because I didn't find a character to root for because they were all horrible people.
Yeah. Okay, so did you have a favorite line or scene in this? Or wait, before we do that, let's talk about the ending.
So the ending of the show, basically, Sophia thinks she didn't call Oz. She basically sends the other crime bosses say, y'all can have my empire. I want to dip up out of here. Whoever catches Oz and brings them to me can have it. So we find out that the triads capture Oz, but what little does Sophia know, there's been some little backdoor shenanigans going on. The second hand in command of the triads basically works with Vic. They pop off the leader of the triads, and then Oz is able to capture Sophia.
Yeah.
Because like Oz's mama said to her, Oz is always 2 steps ahead.
That's true.
So he ends up taking Sophia to some backwoods, parking lot, whatever. We all think he about to shoot 2 in the back of the head. He ain't. He does something I would say worse. He sends her butt back to Arkham.
I think that made no sense to me.
She wakes up because she closes her eyes because she's like, okay, this is it. I'm about to die. She opens her eyes back up because there's like helicopters and police or whatever, because Oz basically goes to the mayor and says, I got something for you that will help you look good. Sophia Falcone did all of this stuff, and now you got somebody to pin all this tragedy on. He's like, boom, I'll take it. They go pick her up. She comes to, and she's back in Arkham.
Yeah, I guess for the
chilling
sense of having a scapegoat, I don't think they hammered home the need to have a scapegoat so much. Like, they wrote the reason that he left Sophia alive is so that there would be a living fall guy for all the damage. Yep. However, they didn't do a good enough job at illustrating that the city of Gotham cares about
having a fall guy.
Crown Point. Crown Point didn't even have electricity and nobody cared. Yeah. So they didn't do a good enough job at making it seem like the situation was bad enough where they needed to keep her alive because somebody's got to go down. Who cares what happened out here?
Did he also mention that she was the one who killed the family? Or no?
They didn't drive home that the police actually cared about that either.
Yeah, you're right.
It would have made more sense if they continued to talk about it, or if it was still like I
think they mentioned it like once or twice after the fact.
They didn't seem to care after the episode after they were dead.
They were a crime
They didn't
family.
talk about them anymore.
Yeah, and they were like, "Oh, crime family died at once." Woohoo!
And yeah, she blew up the tunnels under Crown Point, but they didn't illustrate enough for me that the city of Gotham cares enough about Crime Point to make an arrest for it.
Okay,
so
fair enough.
I didn't get why she was left alive. I like her character, and I like that she is alive, and I hope to see her in the future. I didn't get from a writing standpoint why all of the people that Oswald is willing to kill, he left Sophia alive.
I mean,
knowing that she could be a loose end because she's going to get out of Arkham because Arkham's doors are constantly open and unlocked.
Listen, Maroney got out of there. Sal got out of there. Like, he walked out of Target, and I was like, "Sir, what? No doors? It's on the island. Would you just swim?" When
they showed her in her cell and her therapist walked in, I'm like, she'll be fine.
Right, because her therapist who left Arkham when she was getting treated bad at Arkham goes back to Arkham now that she's back in there. I was like, oh, she got a friend.
Yeah.
At least.
So he's not going to be torturing her.
I mean, she looks like crap because I would look like crap in jail as well. Yeah. But, I mean.
She'll be out like next week.
I don't know if I'm curious to see if she shows back up for one.
She should. I like her as a character.
But a lot of people are saying we would have to explain, like if she shows up in the movie, we would have to explain like the whole backstory. Because what if you didn't watch it? And she show up, you like, who is this? So that's kind of an interesting tidbit.
Kind of. I guess kind of.
Yeah, you would have to be like, why is this chick so mad and why she got this bad haircut?
I feel like that's why they went to lengths to kill the crime families. And then change her name.
You don't have to.
So maybe they don't have to address it as much.
Okay, maybe.
Or it could just be one of those things where it's like, you didn't watch it, you missed out.
And you just got to go back and watch it.
You're going to be the one person confused in a movie theater.
2.
We do get a scene where she gets a letter from Selena.
Yeah, so we get a Batman movie connection.
I found that odd. I don't know why Selena would write her, but
I don't know why she wouldn't just show up. It would have been better if she showed up, right?
She's not showing up because she stole all their money, so she can't come back.
Whose money?
Remember, she stole all their money.
They dead. What it matter?
Oh yeah, they are dead now, so she can come back now, I guess.
I was just like, they should have just had a cameo. That would have been pretty sweet.
Yeah, but that's why she left, because she stole all their money.
Right. So yes, she gets a letter.
She's writing her back and saying like, "Hey, you mind if I come back? I know I stole some of your money too."
She's in jail. It don't matter what Sophia cares about. But yes, so Sophia finds out that she has a half sister because Selena writes her a letter while she locked up in prison with her bootang therapist. And then at the very, very end, we get Oz is now big man on campus. He's now in bed with the mayor. He get his penthouse. He gets his mom moved to the penthouse.
He's going for Bella Real. He wants to get in cahoots with her.
Who?
Bella Real, who is now the black mayor of Gotham.
Oh yes, he wants to get in.
She was in this last episode as well.
She gets a little cameo. We don't talk to her like directly. We see her interacting with other people. So he's dancing basically with Eve. Eve is dressed up as his mama, and as his mama is sitting in the bed crying because she's like, Lord, please take me out of here.
Yeah.
And then at the very, very, very end, we get the Batman signal in a jacked up cloudy sky, which is our only reference to Batman all 8 episodes.
So Batman woke up after 8 weeks.
He was like, hey, or somebody turned it on, right? Somebody turned it on. He was like, let me go do some work.
He's having his energy back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't mind Batman not being in this, to be very honest. It just wouldn't have worked.
Yeah. No, it wouldn't have worked because everybody here is too low level for Batman. But that does add credence to this is part of why it's not as interesting, because everybody here is too low level for Batman. So
okay, fair enough. So we get a call out to Batman at the very last 3 seconds of the show.
I'm wondering who's calling him and why.
Gordon, right? Wouldn't it be Gordon?
Yeah, but for what? I'm interested in what's popping off.
He might have been like, so I heard this Oz character didn't killed everybody. Do you know anything about this?
This was days after Crown Point, so it couldn't have been about that. So
You're right. Yeah. You're right. Maybe it was cleaning it, and they was, testing to make sure it worked.
Favorite line or scene?
My favorite scene would have to be in the club where Sophia has Oz and his mom held hostage. They're about to cut off Oz's mama's finger, because they want Oz to admit that he killed his brothers, and he will not do it. And he was literally about to let his mama's fingers get cut off, and Sophia is shell-shocked because he's like, you actually are just an extremely awful person. And the back and forth and the howling and the screaming and the mom telling Oz how much she actually hates him and the look on his face, all very good.
I'd say my favorite scene also included Francis, and it was the talk with Francis and Sophia.
Oh, when she first kidnapped her?
Yes, that was my favorite scene of the show. And the reason is because I liked that Francis was old school. Francis has been in the game long before Sophia was thought of.
Yeah.
So she's seen all the different faces of people who've sat at the head of the table.
Oh, yeah.
So the fact that Sophia was now sitting at the head of the table didn't scare her. She's like, girl, I've lived through all of these mob bosses before. Yeah. I like the fact that she called her out on being the exact same as her father. Yep. She said, you cut your hair, you changed your name, but you're doing the exact same things. It's the same game. She's
literally becoming not exactly like her dad, but she's coming a horrible crime person.
And it got to Sophia at the end.
It did.
I also liked how confident she was. It feels like you're very confident in your son. She's like, yeah, because she didn't say this, but she was like,
he's a murderer.
She was like, yes, I am. And she just left it at that. And because look where he is. Yeah. And it was funny when Sophia was telling her like, oh, your son is so great. Well, look where you are. And then she was like, you have a lot of confidence in your son. She's like, yeah, look where he is.
Exactly.
You've kidnapped me because you still can't get your hands on him.
And then when you do get him, she lost him again.
Yeah.
Mama was right. Mama was right.
And I thought that she did extremely good acting when she flipped, when Sophia brought up her sons. And she immediately took herself back. Her dementia kicked in. She immediately took herself back to the time when she was looking for her boys. Yeah. And I like that Sophia noticed. She was like, she was like, I have kidnapped a sick woman.
Yeah, because Sophia, nobody outside of Vic and Oz know that his mom has dementia. So when Sophia experiences it, she's like, wait a second.
Right. She kind of feels bad. She's like, this is
about to be different.
I thought this was going to be fun.
Right. And I think that's why she took the approach of having Oz confess about the twins or about the brothers. And instead of just killing his, torturing his mom or whatever.
Yeah. Okay, I don't have any random notes, but I am ready to get into the rating.
I am as well. How many Nicole Kidmans for you?
I would give it 4.5.
I would give it 4.
Okay.
I would give it 4 and one whole one off because of how it didn't carry me week to week like I wanted it to. And I also don't know if I would watch a season 2 all the way through.
I would give it a 4.5 because it wasn't engaging enough to carry me from week to week. But I do think it's a good binge.
Okay.
I don't think like I usually say, this is the DC's version of a streaming show. Okay. So I won't apply my MCU logic to it. It doesn't have you can watch episode 1, 2, 4 and the last 2 episodes. Yeah. There's a lot of good acting in between the scenes where that aren't important. So at least those are interesting and worth looking at. But my only negative would be some pacing issues.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I mean, 4 and 4.5, I think is still pretty good. Yeah. So we would recommend you watching it. And now that it's all out, you can binge it. You ain't got to wait week to week.
Some people are asking for another season. I don't think that's necessary. But even if they do, I won't be in attendance.
What else is
I will read about it.
Going to do that's worse than what he's already done?
I don't need another season of just following the Penguin.
Chop arms off.
I think he's fun. He's great writing, but this is not what I go to Gotham for.
Yeah, people are asking for like, let's have all the villains have their own series. I'm like, y'all, this is how y'all get burnt out on stuff.
This is exactly what people say about the MCU series.
It's too. We don't care about these characters, and then they make the show, and y'all like, oh, we actually liked it, but we're not watching it in mass because
I don't like hanging out in Gotham without Batman.
Fair enough. So, that's fair. I mean, that's why we go to Gotham. Yeah. So more Batman for me, please.
All right, so that is our review for The Penguin. If you have not watched it, all episodes are out on HBO Max right now, and you should absolutely check it out.
Absolutely. What are we watching next week?
What are we watching next week? I always don't fully look at the bottom of
We're watching Gladiator 2, the requel. Yay! It's crazy that it's already about to be Thanksgiving. Yeah. I mean, Thanksgiving is like the week after, but pretty much we there.
Gladiator, Wicked, Moana. It's about to get crazy at the movie theaters.
The numbers about to be numbering.
Yeah.
Ching, 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 ching.
So excited for Gladiator.
Yep.
I hear it's good. It's got virtually the same Rotten Tomato score as the original one, which is low, which I didn't realize.
It's like 74, 75.
Who would give Gladiator a 70s range movie?
Critics.
It won the Oscar.
They're so pretentious.
Several.
It did. It actually. I mean, Joker. Joker got like
Ridley Scott's best work.
Yeah. But, we don't go to the movies based on what critics say. Anyway.
Gladiator's going to be fun. Absolutely excited to see it.
We can see. I'm going to try to find us XD. I want to see some XD. Yeah. Lion fighting whales and rhinos or whatever the heck else is in this movie.
All right. You want to take us out?
Thanks for listening. If you like our show, please give it a share. You can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or on our website. Or if your podcast app has a rating system, you can leave us a review there where you can jack that up. Don't even bother editing that. On our website, you can also leave us a voicemail that we can play on our show if it is polite. And if it's not polite, I get to offer a rebuttal. You can follow us on Threads and IG at Vaguely Nerdy Podcast. We are also now on Blue Sky, and we're still on Twitter for now at Vaguely Nerdy Pod. And if you want to send us an email, you can reach us at vaguelynerdypodcast@gmail.com. I'm acting like I've never done this outro before. And if you're listening to our podcast on a podcast app, you can watch our animated version of our show on the YouTube, where we were also Vaguely Nerdy Podcast.
Yay!
I'm going to do better next time on that outro.
Until next time.
Bye.